might be MVPs come out there and participate. And as I mentioned yesterday, you had the backdrop of Dodger Stadium, which is the absolute best. If you are a baseball fan, if you are a fringe baseball fan, there's one place you need to go if you've never been as any sort of level of baseball fan. And that's Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is awesome. Absolutely. And you understand why. You understand why it is so cool to live in Southern California. I'm sure there's a lot of people griping, but Southern California weather and that 10%, fellas, you know that they take from every state, all 50 states, that 10% is all right there migrating in the gene pool. That's not a bad spot. It's just not. No, I thought last night was awesome. Yeah, Jim Warnicki. Shout out to Jim Warnicki, one of Indy's finest. The Hen House is what it's called. I think I called it the Chicken Shack or the Rooster. The Hen House in Seymour. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy's a good basketball player, by the way. Shout out to Jim Warnicki. But no, seriously, not jaded enough not to watch last night. I know a lot of you didn't. I know a lot of you probably are sick and tired of baseball, probably don't know, a lot of the budding stars. You probably don't even pay attention until the postseason. But to me, last night and tonight is pretty cool. I do like it, and I like it a great deal. Yeah, maybe not as much, maybe not as highly anticipated because we've seen everybody. Back in the day, it was used as a vehicle because you enjoyed baseball as much, certainly as you ever have back then, right? It was used as a vehicle to finally see the players that you rarely ever saw, which was different. I mentioned this yesterday. Back in the day of the National League West, Cincinnati was in that, so you got to see these West Coast National League teams. You got to see the Padres, the Giants, the Dodgers. It was a great unknown, though, regarding the Mariners, although nobody really cared to watch them anyway. I think they had an All-Star once, Richie Zisk. I got his card in every pack, I think, in 1980. Was that the Mariners or the Rangers with Richie Zisk? He was a hitter. The Mariners, the A's, the Angels. Rarely, if ever, did you know very much. And really, it was across the board. Any American League team you probably rarely, if ever, saw around here. So, anybody. Back then, it was Milwaukee. You had the Yankees, the then Cleveland Indians, now the Guardians. Baltimore Orioles, back then, they won in 1979. Needless to say, in the transition from the 70s to the 80s, decade-wise, that was a good team that had a lot of all-star power on it. Also had John Lowenstein's awesome fro underneath that helmet. Nah, seriously, there are great memories about it, but I love this time of year, even if I am a little bit jaded as far as baseball is concerned. It is still fun to watch. And I'm assuming a lot of you may tonight get introduced to some stars that you wouldn't necessarily know too much about. Maybe it is kind of the same as it was for us back in the day. Maybe you're just not paying attention as much as you did back in the day. Maybe you will be introduced to some guys that you have rarely seen, but the reason why you've rarely seen them is because you haven't been paying attention. Either way, it is the absolute best to me of them all by a long stretch. And I love me some hoop, and you know that, but nothing quite like these 2 days for baseball. And then again, with the backdrop at Dodger Stadium makes it incredibly special. Midsummer Classic coming up later on tonight. What time is that officially underway right here tonight? Do we know? Is it after us, I think, Kyle? Somewhere in the neighborhood of after us? It will be a good time. I promise you that.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock tonight. So, yeah, go ahead. Sidestep that jadedness and enjoy a little baseball and be introduced to some guys you probably don't know anything about. It'll make it a lot more fun for you, a lot more enjoyable. Pass the time. Coming up later on tonight. Byron Buxton. How many people can tell you about Byron Buxton? Not too many. Not too many. Yeah. Check him out in the outfield for the AL coming up later on tonight. Yeah, drop the jadedness for one night and enjoy yourself a little midsummer classic. We can hit that if you like at 239-1070. I'll get to the Myles Turner, what I think is halfway accurate in what is absolutely wrong, coming up in a minute. I saw this regarding DeAndre Ayton. Says he gained generational wealth that can help his family and many others after signing a 4-year, $133 million maximum contract extension to return to the Suns. He was very complimentary regarding the Pacers having that level of interest. Now, it's funny. I think everybody comes away with this feeling good. And all that happened was that Phoenix ended up re-signing him. Everybody, I guess, feels good. Now, hold on. The Pacers may not get a similar feeling as we might have. They might be not looking at this as a small victory, just the level of interest, because they actually wanted this player. But what they did, they put it on a tee. They showed some love to Ayton. In return, Phoenix came back and, I guess, got the deal that Phoenix was looking for. They didn't want that 5th year. So the Pacers and Ayton himself created a path for them to get out of that 5th year. So, hallelujah. Everybody, I guess, is kind of happy. I know Pacer fans feel like you're a little bit happy right now. A little bit. Yeah, I'm sure the organizational pieces down there maybe not so happy. Because they didn't want that player. They didn't want DeAndre Ayton. That was serious. They wanted him. Now, I disagreed with that. But we got on last Thursday a couple of interesting moments, to say the least. But Ayton with generational wealth, and really, the Suns got what they wanted. Ayton got what he wanted, and now they're going to try to patch things up. And I guess maybe not so much from an operational personnel standpoint. The Pacer fans certainly got what they wanted. They got a team that thinks that it is a new beginning here. It is a team that's going to actually go after something. A team that's going to be more aggressive. I swear I heard that this morning. Well, the Pacers showed that maybe their change in attitude is going to be more aggressive when it comes to something that they want. And not so much, we got to pick and choose on the bottom shelf here. And we got to go to the half-price bin. Yeah, what movies are in the half-price bin right there? Yeah, Stakeout 2. Now, the original Stakeout would be worth it. Stakeout 2 with Rosie O'Donnell, not so much. Seems like now, if you're going to go after a Stakeout, it's going to be Dreyfuss and Estevez. It's not going to be with Rosie O'Donnell, too. So that is the new path that we feel like you have for the Pacers. And again, from a Pacers fan standpoint, that's a good thing. I don't know what it does, again, personnel-wise and for the organization, because you feel like you swing and you miss on it, because you did. But hopefully the groundwork is being laid for a new path. And again, let me remind you, you do have to celebrate and embrace those little victory moments, because they won 25 games this past year, and it's logically not going to be much more than that this year. And I'm going to be gauging on a daily basis your level of patience, because you all told me that you're going to have that patience. I will be gauging it. Yeah, there is a deal, and I guess I'd have to go back. I don't think I muted him, but a dude kept sending me a deal regarding Myles that had James Wiseman. Did you see that? Let me see if I can find it. I know somebody sent me an email. Somebody else had seen it. I just kind of called it like Alexander O'Neal would have called it back in 1987. I called it a fake. I mean, it's Myles Turner, Chris Duarte, also all three of the Pacers' first-round picks in 2023 to the Warriors. James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Patrick Baldwin Jr., all to the Pacers. That's completely fake, right? Fake? That's, by the way, a great Alexander O'Neal song. Check it out after the show. That's the fake. Now, there's one, and we've heard this so many times, if there is a team out there, it used to be the New Orleans Pelicans that had all this interest in Myles Turner. All Myles Turner trade rumors would be revolving around the Pelicans back in the day. It seems like now for a number of years, it's all around the Hornets. And that whole P.J. Washington thing popped back up again, too. Now, the problem that you have with that is it also involves Gordon Hayward. And I know a lot of you aren't on board with it. Some of you that would like to see this team go ahead and shed him down the road and maybe gain some more salary cap space. That, to me, I don't know if that's true, but I can get with that being more true than the Golden State one. Reason why I bring it up is there is no doubt that the Pacers would not mind to unload Myles. And I'm sure Myles probably wouldn't mind if the Pacers unloaded him. But to this point, my opinion, they just have not received the type of love in any sort of deal that they would like to move on right now. Maybe they get it before the start of the season, but it also seems to me if they don't, they're cool with starting the season with him. So you may ultimately see that. You may not, but you may ultimately see that. So you better go ahead and just understand that now. Those that are completely anti-Myles, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. If you roll the dice, see what happens, trade deadline thing, whatever, I don't really mind it. It may end up biting me in the rear end at the end. But I do not mind it. And it kind of looks like, because we haven't seen anything that logical / concrete, that they may end up going that direction. And again, it's not because they're not trying or they want to move on or don't want to move on. I think they do want to move on. I think really both parties probably are digging moving on at some point, but they're just not going to rush it. Doesn't seem like they're going to rush it. But I think one was halfway decently accurate. The other one is an absolute pipe dream. Just for the sake of the argument, though, that Golden State one, would you do that? What I just said? Want me to run that by you again?
Yeah, go through it again.
It was, and this is one that, to me, is absolutely fake. Myles Turner, Chris Duarte, the Pacer first-round picks in 2023. For James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Patrick Baldwin Jr.
No.
You wouldn't do that?
I'm not giving away any of my first-round picks if I'm Indiana.
Do you think this might be a situation where they're going for, what's Victor's name?
Wembanyama?
Yeah.
Is this French magician.
Is this one of the things where they don't mind at all? If they win less than 25 games,
it seems like he's worthy. I mean, if he's the most touted player since LeBron came out in 2003, he's worth taking a tank for.
For some reason, I think Kuminga's going to be good.
I think so too, but I'm not giving up my first-round picks if I'm the Pacers for much of anybody.
I haven't seen much of Patrick Baldwin, and again, this is incredibly fake. I'm just talking about something fake right now.
He was miserable in college. He played for his dad up in Milwaukee. Yeah. I think he was a top 5 high school kid.
McDonald's All-American type of guy?
Went to play for his dad in Milwaukee. He was absolutely terrible.
Was he terrible because he was up there or playing for his dad or all that?
I think he just shot poorly. Didn't show a lot to scouts of...
Could you play for your dad?
No.
I can't imagine for a moment. Well, first of all, to play for my dad, I'd actually have to see him once or twice. That was kind of the issue there. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Yeah, I'm down here on the end of the bench. So could you play for your dad? I couldn't imagine.
He was my Little League coach
in
baseball for a couple of years, and I told him, you need to quit. I don't like playing for you. So he quit. There's
no way Laney, and I've tried before. That's why I kind of check out. Laney wouldn't play for me for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We were doing some basketball this morning. She walked off the court, and I swear to you, if you guys can see this on YouTube Live, she gave me the Mutombo. She goes, all I was going to say was, quote, yeah, that was kind of a tough morning, wasn't it? That's all I was going to say. That was going to be the quote. That was kind of a tough moment. She was going, dip. She met me at the pass. I mean, the finger wag. I don't know. Nope. Yeah, it's kind of a tough morning. Yeah, it'll happen. I mean, that's pretty easy right there. Believe me, from experience, I know what a tough morning, what a tough afternoon, and what a tough evening looks like. I'm the authority in that. So I felt reasonably secure how accurate I was on my assessment. I know what it's like. So there's zero way, no way that she would ever play for me. I don't blame her. I do not blame her. So shout out to everybody out there that coaches their kid on whatever level it might be. Shout out to you because you have a hell of a lot more patience than me. Well done. All right, big show. Rakestraw, bottom of the hour. Ben Brown of PFF. We're going to roll through some PFF numbers. I can't imagine. What do you get more pissed about? The Madden numbers or the PFF numbers? What rating system gets you more irritated?
Probably PFF, right? Because that's actual play.
Yeah.
Stuff actually
the NFL
matters.
looks at the PFF. I don't know if the NFL looks at the Madden rating. Go, I don't know about.
Madden ratings are fun to look at for a couple days a year. This time of year, you can complain about Darius Leonard getting screwed. T.J. Watt. Steelers fans are pissed because T.J. Watt got screwed.
Yeah. Hey, quick shout out, by the way, my friend Eric that runs things up at the former Finch Creek. They're doing that Pro-Am League up there, right? Every Tuesday. He just actually texted me, and if you guys are fans of Lance Stevenson, and I know many of you out there are for good reason, I think Lance is playing up there tonight. So if you guys want to go see Lance play, shout him out, whatever, get up close. It's still Finch Creek, but it's got a corporate, I just can't remember it. It's not like I don't want to name it now. It's called, is it Mojo something or other? I think right now. But it's up in Noblesville. It's a great facility. I mean, a great facility for basketball. They're doing a Pro-Am. And for those of you big fans of Lance Stevenson, from what I have been told just now from Eric, Lance will be playing coming up later on tonight. Lance will not evidently be playing in our Tuesday night Center Grove West Gymnasium pickup game.
Wouldn't this scenario, the Pro-Am, that would be Lance Stevenson as best,
Can you
right?
imagine?
He's going to be so good. It's going to be like Michael Jordan compared to some of these guys.
Oh, yeah. It will be an and one mixtape tonight up there. Sounds like a good time if you like Lance. There it is. All right, One Republic tickets a little bit later on, too. That show, I believe, is a week from Saturday up at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. I mentioned Ben Brown, data scientist, betting analyst for PFF, is going to drop in coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Anything goes in the 5. That should be just dandy. I can't wait. Race Trash, anything goes. Racetrash.com. Race Trash, anything goes. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour for you. You know how that works. Greg Rakestraw with a variety of things is set to join us coming up on the other side. Your calls, emails, tweets, Facebook messages, all that crap. You got us right here. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, Facebook Live, the stream, the app, HD Radio, and 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The amount of money our clients receive with a simple cash-out refinance is life-changing. Learn more and get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
My name is Kayla Sinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, defroster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me, makes me cry.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Hey, it's JMV for the absolute best in realty. Mark Deedle Realty. 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdeedle.com. That's markdeedl.com. Today. So let's talk about Tim in Indianapolis. After his mother passed away, he needed to sell her home. He hired Mark Deedle, and he was really glad that he did. Mark listed the home, marketed it heavily, and had it sold in days at $16,000 over list price. Mark is a pro who made that process easy for Tim and his family. Mark Deedle has a guarantee for you. Multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or he is going to list it for free. That's Mark Deedle Realty, 317-755-4232, 317-755-4232. MarkDeedle.com. That's MarkDietel.com today.
O'Reilly. Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $32.95. Extend the life of your vehicle, improve performance, and protect your engine against sludge and wear with Mobil 1 full synthetic. On sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts and O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're a window installer, keep it simple. Choose Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the cladwood windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And with fewer callbacks, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows, the windows contractors trust the most. Get started at AndersonWindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors.
The Ride with JMV.
Look at all those ding-dongs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Greg Rakestraw is going to join us in a second. The reason why I'm leading back in with this, by the way, is because that was Greg's request on Saturday night during the Best of the 90s JMV Takeover. He wanted to hear European dance/techno duo AB Logic. Let me tell you, I am the only person in the world that would be in a studio live at that point in time to get that request and immediately know where to go. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, I'm patting myself on the back as Greg Rakestraw joins us now. I'm the only one that you would have called on Saturday night that would immediately put your request of AB Logic on the air. I'm the only one that would have known that, correct?
I appreciate that. And I knew I had some windshield time on Saturday night, so I had to make sure I knew exactly what the theme of the show was going to be.
Yeah.
And so I listened, and when I heard the caller call you and say, hey, I forgot what I was requesting, just pick me something good. and you went scat man, and I'm like, okay, we got to mix this up a little bit. So thank you very much. And much as I have done, I called you in March coming back from Washington, and I picked up B1057 in Greene County. Dude, I called you from southern Tippecanoe County.
Nice.
On US 52 on my way out of Lafayette on Saturday night. The range of B1057 is almost as impressive as the range of your musical knowledge.
That is awesome right there. That sounds like it's blowtorching on a Saturday night there, Greg. I like that.
I think you have hit full-on blowtorch status. If you're covering basically half the state, I think you can claim blowtorch.
Man, it was awesome. AB Logic, I got all excited. You're right. I mean, we did some things. That was the first time for that. Ice Cube's Bop Gun had never played until, and I had to go over a lot of these with a fine-tooth comb, if you know what I mean.
That's the first thought that I have in my mind. I'm like, if you played Bop Gun, you had to make sure you had the right version, not just in terms of language, but frankly in time, because George Clinton was involved.
He was.
You know, that was like a Led Zeppelin track in terms of the length of it. So I hope you found the compact version and clearly the PG-13 version.
Yeah, like Ice Cube got double shot power courtesy of Larceny Bourbon. We went Bop Gun and Check Yourself. So it took me a lot of editing time to get that done. It is. All right, so 9 days away from the start of Colts camp? Things on your mind as we get closer and closer to that beginning?
I realize it's a slow content time for us locally. It's kind of the last bit of downtime we have in the last week. But you Colts fans, you don't want any Colts content until next Tuesday. You want guys to stay, inactive in terms of anything from a legal standpoint, anything from an injury standpoint. No news is good news on the Western Front as far as the Indianapolis Colts are concerned. The one exception to that would be if there is a Quentin Nelson contract extension that takes place right as training camp is opening, a la what happened with Braden Smith a year ago. So that's kind of the only news where you go, yep, that's good news. Or if there's further injury news on Darius Leonard, which I don't expect until training camp officially opens. So from a Colts observation standpoint, I'm just thinking, if I don't hear anything between now and when camp opens on Tuesday and the first practice is next Wednesday, it's probably a good thing for everybody involved.
So Greg Rakestraw with us. Your partner doing the preseason games is going to be Rick Venturi coming up this year. I was talking to Rick a little bit earlier today. He called and we had a long conversation about the start of the NFL season coming up here too. And we were talking about, to me, the interest that I think we're going to have this year. Maybe I say this every time at this point every year, but it does seem like that, seeing some of these guys play for the first time and, seeing some things about preseason games, there may be a different level of sparked interests. Might I say? Is that accurate, you think, as far as how people may be, as Colts fans, perceiving preseason football with the Colts in mind?
Sure, but it's just a matter of, Frank's track record has been for these guys to get minimal reps in preseason games. And so do you change that because you've got guys that are new to the team? Last year we did see, obviously Dia was hurt, so he couldn't play. We did see extra snaps for Kwity Paye. That was kind of the one of the rookies that we knew were going to be impact guys right away. He was the guy that got more reps. So as a rookie, he got a few more snaps. Now, does that then apply? Like, do you need to see Gilmore at corner in the preseason? Probably not. You need to see a lot of Yannick Ngakoue in the preseason? Probably not. We're going to see a lot of Matt Ryan in the preseason? I doubt it. Maybe he gets a couple of reps, a couple of series in game number 2. Maybe. But again, game number 2 is also where you're playing the Lions, and that's when you see them on Wednesday and Thursday. And so that is of great importance. So, yes, I think there's more interest going into the preseason because of the key new pieces that have been acquired by this football team. How that translates to preseason games, we'll see. In other words, does Frank Reich play more of his veterans a little bit more when you're trying to make sure you're more battle ready, knowing you have to avoid that slow start that has plagued this organization for the better part of the last 10 years. But at the same time, it's tough to make the corollary knowing that from your last preseason game, you have 15 days until you play your first regular season game. And I just don't know how much, if any, carryover is there from, say, how you play against Tampa Bay on the 27th to then how you would play against Houston on September 11th.
Is there any way Greg Rakestraw joins us? Any way that you can equate these slow starts we have seen over the years to that minimal playing time for guys philosophy of Frank Reich?
I don't think so. I think maybe there's more of a corollary if, again, you were, had the more conventional, hey, we're going to play that last Thursday, but even on that game, the starters rarely played, if ever. I think, and this is like 15 years ago, like in the old days, Peyton and the guys would get one series, and I remember one time them scoring in Cincinnati, and literally it's the fastest I ever saw Peyton ran, getting off of the field, knowing he was done for the night, and he could focus his efforts on the regular season. So I don't think so to be true, but I think that's even especially more the case now that you completely get out of game mode, for a week before then you start to ramp back up for that first regular season game.
It's Greg Rakestraw with us. He's got the preseason games with Rick Venturi coming up, and they'll be here before you know it. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So Midsummer Classic, and I know because of the lack of interest with the Reds, certainly over the years, because of the not so high level of play, combined with what you're doing, you haven't had your finger on the pulse of baseball as what you used to have it. But how do you feel about the Midsummer Classic? Is this something you'll sit down and watch tonight? Maybe reintroduce yourself to some guys, maybe for the first time, intro yourself to others. Do you watch the Midsummer Classic?
I might watch it in passing. Like last night, television was so bad, I went to bed at like 11 o'clock. Seriously, I'm just like, there's nothing on for me to watch. And that's kind of the case once you get to, this week in July, summer league's done, you're in All-Star week, training camps haven't gotten going yet. It's rare that we have these in the sports calendar these days. This week is kind of one of those where we have that bit of a lull. I'm not going to carve out time to specifically watch the All-Star game. Might I watch a little bit of it in passing? Perhaps. I've never been one that's been big on the All-Star game now that we have all of this access to watching whatever game you want to watch on a given night. But at the same time, the All-Star game is not for me. Even if I have become more of a casual fan, because of what I do for a living, I'm not a casual fan. I have a working knowledge. I have a vested interest. And so the All-Star game is not for you and me. The All-Star game is for kids. The All-Star game is for people that don't get to watch that much baseball. That's the whole point of the All-Star game. So even if it's not for me, that's not like some indictment on the game or the sport itself.
You got a favorite? I know when you used to watch it all the time, you got a favorite All-Star game in memory?
The 1990 All-Star game, not that it was a classic, but it was at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
It was a night game. There was a tremendous delay because of a storm. I think they played Field of Dreams to help, cover the time they had to fill. The game actually started. It was because it was the wire-to-wire Reds, and there were so many Reds that were taking part in the game. So this is where the age gap, the 6 or 7 year age gap between you and me shows up. You could probably cite, seeing, 8 Reds get voted as starters in the mid-'70s as All-Star games. That's just slightly before my time. And, of course, the whole 2002 All-Star game in Milwaukee where we ended in a tie and we all screamed bloody murder. I can't believe that's been 20 years ago at this point.
That has been 20 years ago. That's incredible right there. That's a good recall because everybody did go crazy after that.
And then we kind of realized, hey, this is an exhibition game. This is what it's supposed. Let's not overextend these guys. And now we'll go home run derby style if we're tied after 9 innings this time around.
That, and then if you go all the way back, and that's really before both of us, I was here, but certainly not able to pay attention. It is always incredible to me to see that Pete Rose highlight of running over Ray Fosse at home plate in 1970, thinking that how we look at the All-Star game as an exhibition and how he separated Fosse's shoulder on that play to score in an All-Star game will always remain the most incredible moment of All-Star baseball history for me.
And literally, if somebody were to do that now in an All-Star game, both sides would come out of the dugout and beat the holy hell out of that person. Is the way. Again, it's not going to happen. But again, we view these things a bit differently than we did some, again, 52 years ago.
It's Greg Rakestraw, the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. What do you got going on this week? Are you free?
I have a little bit of downtime. So from a work standpoint, I'm not sure if you've announced this yet, but on Thursday, so I'll be in that seat coming up in 48 hours. And then,
you coming in?
Go ahead. What's that?
Are you coming in for me Thursday?
I am, yeah. You knew you had the day off. Right?
Well, Todd hadn't told me yet, but I just saw him in passing, so it's all good though. Yeah, because I was.
You're off on Thursday.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right.
Production meeting on the air, and then on Saturday I've got Indy 11 as we play host to Memphis. But you'll get a kick out of this on Friday. This is not work related at all. On Friday night, I'm spending the evening in the Haute. So I did not attend Indiana State University, such as yourself. But every summer that I was in high school, I had a different camp in Terre Haute. One year was Dick Baumgartner's shooting camp at Rose-Hulman, the old airplane hangar.
Yep.
The next year, it was the Summer Honors Program at Indiana State. The next year, it was Hoosier Boys State. Well, the middle of that group, I was there for 2 weeks in July of 1992, and I made friends at that event that I am still friends with to this day. And so we are having a 30-year reunion for those of us that attended that back in July of 92. And so me and 6 friends of mine are going to meet up at the fountain on campus on Friday night. We're going to down pizza and beer at the Ballyhoo, and we're going to raise all kind of general ruckus and cruise the bash a little bit on Friday evening to celebrate things we did back when we were in high school back in 1992.
That is awesome. I was actually over there in 92 as well. I was taking summer school. I was at 6th and Deming, and I took summer school because it was easy. Really, all they did was like take my pulse. If I had my heart beating, and if my check cleared, I normally got an A in summer school. I love that.
I think you may have gotten the most important thing last there with the check clearing on that front.
Yes.
So I stayed in Cromwell back-to-back years that I was there, both for summer honors as well for Hoosier Boys State. And then we actually took I think I literally walked halfway across town in doing this. We walked from campus to Headstone and Friends.
You guys need a bong? You need a bong or something?
I did not. I got a contact high, though. I got a freebie.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was. I was 15. I figured it out later in life what it was. But the first time I picked up a Violent Femmes record, John, and it changed my life.
Really? That was the first time in 92?
Yeah, because that hadn't exactly made its way to Harrison County. That wasn't a part of. You were impressed that I knew, AB Logic being from Lanesville. I guarantee you, Violent Femmes weren't talked about in Lanesville in '92 either.
It's funny what you remember. You bring up the Violent Femmes. I remember the first time I heard the Violent Femmes. I think I've told this story here before. I had friends of mine from GC that went to it may have been Dick Baumgartner's camp in Richmond, the basketball camp in Richmond. They came back, and these dudes they were right across the hall from suburban Chicago brought a bootleg tape in of the Violent Femmes. And and they brought it back. This was 1982, I think. And they brought it back, and we played it all summer long poolside at my house. That's the first time I was introduced to the Violent Femmes by bootleg tape via Richmond, Indiana, and the Dick Baumgartner shooting camp.
So let's put this in perspective. The Violent Femmes got to Greene County 10 years before they got to Harrison County.
That's incredible.
Let's put it that way.
It was absolutely incredible. But yeah, it was the first time in the summer of 1982. All right. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in on Thursday, too. I appreciate you more than you know.
You got it, buddy. Be good.
All right. So Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. Jody Shelton says the Violent Femmes suck. You guys think the Violent Femmes suck? Seriously? I will tell, in fairness to Jody, especially back then, it was a bit of an acquired taste. You've probably gotten used to it over the years now, but back then it was a bit of an acquired taste. Like, I think the first song, I think the first one I heard was Kiss Off. I think they're really good. Milwaukee band. I believe as the story goes, am I accurate with this? I believe the Pretenders and Chrissie Hynde, they were playing in Milwaukee, and she saw them doing something, performing in the street, I think in Milwaukee, on a Pretenders tour. I may have to look that up. I may be making this up. But I believe that to be the case. So, yeah, I do. Violent Femmes, just because he said that, I'll roll that coming up on Saturday night, too. I don't think I've played that on the JMV Takeover in a while. 1982, a bootleg tape. And I never did attend the Dick Baumgartner basketball camp. But apparently you went over there and you certainly learned how to shoot a great deal. The inventor of the sure shot basketball was Dick Baumgartner. Quick break and we'll come back. Ben Brown, PFF top of the hour, the data scientist, betting analyst, a lot of stuff NFL-wise before things officially get underway. We've got a Race Trash Anything Goes in the 5 o'clock hour. Racetrash.com for drivers, non-drivers, and, of course, the best in waste disposal and recycling. Racetrash.com today. Race Trash Anything Goes in the 5 o'clock hour. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tune in to The Ride with JMV this week for your chance to win tickets to see One Republic and Need to Breathe at Ruoff Music Center on Saturday, July 30th.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
2022 Colts season tickets are now on sale. Don't miss your chance to join our season ticket member family and take advantage of exclusive benefits, including our extended payment plans and VIP game day access. Plus, you'll enjoy year-round offers, events, and more. To learn about joining our season ticket member family and reserve your seats, visit Colts.com/tickets or call 317-297-7000. That's Colts.com/tickets or 317-297-7000.
Here's what's happening with The Fan.
The Ride with JMV is ready to come and hang out at your house for a backyard broadcast. Brought to you by Evan Williams Bourbon, Connecticut Home Water Systems, and New Belgium Brewery. Enter online for a chance to have JMV do his show live from your backyard. And head to the fan contest page online for a chance for you to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Indiana State Fair, Friday, July 29th to Sunday, August 21st.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Hey, John here for Race Trash Service. New gigs right now. If you're looking for a new career, you have a commercial driver's license, do something about it. Go ahead and log on and apply today as a driver. We're talking great pay, fantastic benefits with a great company that's been family operated since the 1960s. They're looking for drivers, and if you want to kickstart a new career as a non-driver there, again, with a great company, you can. Just log on, racetrash.com today. And, of course, the best, absolute best in waste disposal and recycling. I use them. Nobody better. You should too. So if you're not right now, you can rectify that issue and make that change. Log on and sign up today. Racetrash.com.
The world's greatest Pink Floyd show, Brit Floyd, is back with brand new production for their World Tour 2022. Featuring The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, and more. Complete with a stunning multi-million-dollar light show, iconic circle screen, lasers, inflatables, and theatrics. Coming to Indianapolis this Sunday, July 24th at the Murat Theater at Old National Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com or oldnationalcenter.com.
Hey, everybody, we've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident, there's a painful, life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you are dealing with it right now. That's where the attorneys at Paul Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. None of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report as being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. Even if you're unsure you have a case, give Par Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experienced legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parinjury.com. That's PARR injury.com.
There's never been a better time to look at a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Big Red Liquors Big Gas Giveaway. This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards. Yes, you could win a $500 gas card. Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
Wednesday on Kevin and Query, we're going to talk about what Colts are indispensable, and the indispensable Doug Bowles from IMS talks to us about IMS Brickyard Weekend. Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is for Jody Shelton inside the lounge via YouTube Live. All requests, Tuesday afternoon party with JMV. Hey, JMV, I saw them twice and thought that they rank right up there as one of the all-time most fun bands I've ever seen. Mike McCann, thank you, Mike. Matt Baer, who's busy doing traffic downstairs on 4, says, I love me some American music. Matt Baer. Why doesn't Matt Baer give traffic reports here? Why do we not do traffic reports? Because I can't stay on time?
Yeah, that's probably
That would probably completely hose me up. I shouldn't even brought that up. Hey, David Wood, if you're listening, I did not bring that up. No traffic. I love you, Matt Baer, though, brother. You know that. Love it. All right, Midsummer Classic tonight, and we'll hit that if you guys want some of the greatest moments you can remember as a fan of baseball. I mentioned the All-Star game yesterday in 83. Fred Lynn, first Grand Slam ever versus Atlee Hammaker, 79. Dave Parker with the right field hose to mow down Brian Downing at the plate to Gary Carter. I mentioned 88 in Cincinnati, Terry Steinbach. Terry Steinbach was the MVP. Mike in Portland, Oregon, is someone who, discovering punk in the 80s, it seemed like I heard Violent Femmes at every party, kind of universally liked, but hardcore punks to college alternative types. Yeah, 1982 is the first time poolside. And it was a rough cut. It was on a TDK. I think they actually recorded it in some gym or something. It was rough. A rough cut. Recognizable, but certainly rough. So shout out to you, Jody, right there. Quick break, we'll return. Ben Brown, PFF data scientist, betting analyst. A lot by the numbers of the NFL as we're closer and closer to the start of the 2022 season. Ben Brown's on the other side, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's Kevin and Query.
I'm a big fan of what the Pacers have done so far. By no means am I saying this is a team that's going to finish 4th or 5th in the East. But now all of a sudden you look at this roster, and with Halliburton, Mathurin, Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, that provides you some intrigue. It's a little bit more present-day NBA. Now you've got a really youthful team of lottery picks. I'm very intrigued by what the Pacers have done.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, John here for the best car buying experience anywhere. Andy Moore Buick GMC, that's 131st State Road 37. It is in Fishers. His name is Eric Wilson. I introduced him to my friend yesterday. My good friend, a lot of you down in the Grove know the great Jeff Watson. Jeff Watson was thinking about a new ride, a new set of wheels. He said, hey, what about your guy Eric Wilson? And I said, hey, you guys need to meet and greet and get something done. They did. They're talking it over. And, oh, here comes the GMC Acadia. I've talked all about it. It's a fantastic ride, especially for you and the entire family. And also, it is so easy with Eric Wilson at Indiana's Best because they have the inventory. Clearly, the car buying experience is the absolute best. And, oh, by the way, the service after the sale is unmatched. All in one place. The best car buying experience is at Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Now is the perfect time to get into the home of your dreams. Learn more and get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
NASCAR in and IndyCar action return for Brickyard Weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Saturday, July 30th, catch a doubleheader featuring the NTT IndyCar Series Gallagher Grand Prix, followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 150. Then Sunday, the 31st, the NASCAR Cup Series Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Experience the roar and power of NASCAR and the speed and precision of IndyCar in one exciting family-friendly race weekend. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now at ims.com.
Hey, LD Smith Plumbing, the best in plumbing. That's Lance and his local team at 317-284-9526. I mean, anything that goes wrong. Normally, if you need to call on a plumber, something's going haywire in your home, and that stinks. You want to have somebody that's out there promptly and knows what they're doing. I can tell you here locally, there's absolutely nobody better than Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing. Also, ask them regarding your main drain and possible cloggage. Ask about the 83 or visit 83 or free. Ask them all about it with LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526 online. That's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Mom, Dad, you should shop Amazon for back to school and save some money. See, I'm currently obsessed with superheroes and need all the superhero stuff. Superhero lunchbox, superhero backpack. But next year, it'll be something else. Maybe dinosaurs? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. But I can tell you not to spend a fortune and shop low prices for school on Amazon. Okay, good chat. Amazon. Spend less, smile more.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Lose your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB, WIBC HD3 W228CX, Indianapolis. The NASCAR Cup Series races at the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Coverage next Sunday at noon on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I want savages on the field. I want to lead the league in broken ribs. I want to put people in the hospital legally, no hitting in the head. I want them to cry and be scared to play us.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Anything goes coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Greg Rakestraw podcast, 1075thefan.com. All right, apparently, for the first time this year from PFF, the data scientist and betting analyst on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he's looking California and feeling Minnesota, in this case, northern Minnesota. Ben Brown joins us again on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You're looking California, feeling Minnesota right now, correct?
Just living the dream. I mean, I know you got quite a few listeners from the northern Minnesota area, so I had to come mingle with a few of them up here in the northern woods area. So yeah, it's a good little final retreat before the real chaos of the NFL season sets.
There is a P1 listener to this show and to my music call request show on Saturday night. I think it's ROR. I'd have to track him down here, but he lives and tweets often and listens. He may be listening right now, and he's up there somewhere. I don't know if he's near you, but he is staked out in northern Minnesota.
Yep, it's a beautiful country. I mean, obviously, the summertime, you got to get it in as much as you can, get some of the lakeside bonfires, pontoon rides, and things like that. So yeah, it's living the best life in Minnesota. So I definitely had to partake a little bit here.
So where exactly are you in northern Minnesota?
So I am about an hour north of Grand Rapids, and it was actually a cabin that my grandpa built a long time ago in the 1960s, and it's kind of been in our family ever since then. So I don't make it up too frequently, but every once in a while I get to partake a little bit and have some fun, do a little fishing and everything like that. So
how close are you to Canada?
We are about 3 hours, 2.5 hours. We could definitely hit like the Lake of the Woods and about 2.5 actually getting to some solid land in Canada is more the problem, I would say. So we're about an hour and a half from Duluth area.
Good Lord, you are up there. I'm looking at it right now. You are way north.
We are way north. It's a breezy 80, 85. Doesn't get too hot up here, so definitely enjoying it. That's for sure.
What's it get at night? About 40?
Yeah, it cools down. It cools down. I used to come up a lot more in the fall season. Definitely was my favorite season to get up here because it's the 60, 65 leaves are changing. Everything's kind of turning over in the football season, but it's just too crazy nowadays with this current line of profession to make it up here that often.
Yeah, well, north of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I'm looking at this on a map right now, and that is incredibly far up there.
Yep. So we got a little slice of heaven, small lake up here, living the dream. So got some family, so it's good.
Awesome. Well, enjoy that summer in northern Minnesota. From PFF, Ben Brown joins us, their data analyst. So I saw this a little bit earlier. Actually, Kyle had sent this to me. Colts running backs were contacted at or behind the line of scrimmage. 49% of their carries, which ranked 27th. Can the offensive line be, it sounds like they can be, a lot more efficient for Jonathan Taylor this season if he and they truly want to be described as elite?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I do think that was kind of the extraordinary thing about what Jonathan Taylor provided last year, right? Like he had more yards after initial contact than any other NFL running back had in yards total, right? So his total production after getting hit was better than any other running back put forth from both yards before contact and yards after contact. And I do think it speaks to, their offensive line was pretty good from a pass blocking perspective, not so great from a run blocking perspective, especially if you're looking at, running more on the right side of that offensive line or under, behind center with Ryan Kelly. That's a spot that they can definitely improve upon. I also think, offering more from a passing game perspective could also open things up for Jonathan Taylor. And I think if both those things kind of come together, the Indianapolis Colts are going to be very relevant in the AFC conference, in my opinion.
It's Ben Brown with us. You were all skeptical about this left tackle situation, beginning with Matthew Pryor, and then I guess who knows after that if it's the rookie Ryman or a guy like Kelly, who's a guy that's going to be, I guess, utilized as a Swiss Army knife around that offensive line when necessary here. How do you like that setup, especially coming off a year ago where left tackle was truly, especially in pass protection, an issue?
Yeah, definitely. I'm personally, I like the Bernard Ryman pick quite a bit. We had him actually toward the end of like a first round grade. So I do think getting him in the third round, he does seem to be NFL ready in a lot of scenarios, right? I think in 2019, a guy that basically transitioned from tight end position at Central Michigan to offensive tackle, really productive in 2020 and 2021 playing the left tackle position, dominated in snaps. So I think if he can emerge, and the earlier that he can emerge, the better that's going to be for the Colts, obviously long term. And I do expect him. Maybe it's not going to happen right away in training camp. Maybe it's not going to happen, through the first couple of games of the preseason. But I would expect, by week 3, week 4 of the NFL season, that he is going to be that starting left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. And I do think that would be best case scenario for them, because I am, kind of worried about Matt Pryor being the guy there at left tackle. And I do think Ryan Kelly probably makes the most sense just holding steady at the center position instead of trying to move around, play multiple positions. Very few guys can actually do that at a really high level. So I think the answer's got to be Ryman. And I do think, that and, the secondary wide receiver position are kind of the two remaining question marks, I would say, for this Indianapolis Colts team.
So you think that Ryman may be a lot more ready-made for the moment than I guess some of us are thinking he might be around here?
Yeah, I definitely. And maybe that's partially to do with, where we had him slotted, at least as far as like prior to the draft where we expected him to go. We did have him labeled, as like a first-round talent, early second-round talent. Now, he slipped maybe because of some things that PFF doesn't necessarily take into account as strongly as some of the NFL evaluators. Maybe there were some other concerns that aren't necessarily bubbling to the surface right now. But I expect him, with that, late first, early second round type grade, that he can definitely slot in and definitely take hold of that left tackle position probably earlier than what, a lot of people are expecting right now.
I have somebody inside the lounge on YouTube Live, Matthew Stansberry, says Ryman can't be any worse than Fisher was in pass protection a year ago. He was terrible. I know he's coming off an injury and all, but that that did not even come close to panning out as I think that Chris Ballard thought and hoped.
Right, definitely. So I think, from that perspective, I think you absolutely need Ryman to, take hold as quickly as possible, because I don't think Pryor is going to be, really the long-term or even, halfway term solution at that left tackle position for the Indianapolis Colts.
I did want to ask you this too. Ben Brown of PFF's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. A lot certainly was made about how Carson Wentz looked, but he did go 27-7 on the season, right? So with touchdowns and interceptions, whereas you look at Matt Ryan, who everybody is leaning on to be just stratospherically better than what Wentz was a year ago, had some struggling numbers at 20-12 a year ago with the Falcons. The PFF numbers, was that all about Ryan, or was that more about a suspect group around him? How would you hard target and describe the season he had in Atlanta last year?
I would say there was a lot of obstacles to overcome, right? Obviously, the Calvin Ridley situation, really difficult to overcome, losing your number one wide receiver in such a chaotic manner as well. But we had the Atlanta Falcons 31 out of 32 NFL offensive line unit ranking, basically. So second worst unit in the NFL. Matt Ryan, as good as he has been, isn't necessarily great under pressure, and basically completely switching to, having an above average offensive line, I think is going to help some continuity, at least a little bit at the wide receiver position. I know there's going to be, a ton of question marks as far as who's going to be that number 2 guy behind Michael Pittman. But I think with what was kind of trying to be put in place with Arthur Smith at the helm in Atlanta in that first year, there just probably wasn't a lot of Matt Ryan having a lot of influence on the play calling like he did in prior years. And I do think that probably led to some frustrations as well. So I do think the overall structure around him in the Indianapolis Colts is going to be night and day difference. And we still had, Matt Ryan. It wasn't necessarily, the touchdown interception ratio type things comparable to Carson Wentz. But when you look at it from a PFF passing grade, what they were asked to do in a lot of ways, what they were in control of, Matt Ryan was still the better quarterback in 2021 than what Carson Wentz provided. So I think if you give him, much friendlier confines, better offensive line play, because it can't be any worse than what Atlanta gave him last year, even with some question marks at left tackle, I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of a rejuvenated and much better version of Matt Ryan than what we even saw in 2020.
I don't know how many people care other than when the two teams meet coming up this season during the regular season, but how do you think not or maybe so Wentz will click in Washington this season?
Yeah, I honestly don't think he's going to. I think I don't think there were a lot of suitors for Carson Wentz whatsoever. So that's one reason why, I did like the move that Chris Ballard was able to pull off so early on in free agency to get rid of Carson Wentz. Because I don't really think there's too many people that think they can win with him at quarterback right now. If I was betting on a guy to kind of make this significant jump after having a really down year, I would probably be wagering on a guy like Baker Mayfield to emerge more so than a guy like Carson Wentz, because I think the book is kind of out in Carson Wentz, and I don't really expect too much from a production standpoint for him in Washington.
So I want to play off of what you just said regarding Baker Mayfield. You think Baker Mayfield is going to have a rebirth of sorts in Carolina?
I think if I was wagering between all the guys that have that option, I do think it could be Baker Mayfield. Now, I think the weapons around Baker Mayfield in Carolina kind of fit well with his skill set personally, and he has actually flashed, more recently than what Carson Wentz has been able to. And that 2020 year was a really strong year for Baker Mayfield, and I do think Carson Wentz obviously dealt with the foot injuries last year and everything else kind of to start the season. Maybe that was partially to blame for why he started off, maybe a little bit slower than expected, but I still think that Baker Mayfield, with a healthy shoulder, with, some decent receiving options, in what is, widely considered not a very good division, I think he's going to be the guy that I'd bet on to turn things around here in 2020.
I was going to ask you that, too. You look at the NFC South, the Buccaneers going to walk through this thing in your expectation?
I think so, because I know some people like, the New Orleans Saints, and that sort of, situation. I do think Sean Payton leaving is going to have one of the biggest impacts from a coaching loss perspective that any team's going to feel here in quite some time. I think, looking at it, not necessarily at the same type of level as Bill Belichick, but Sean Payton was a really good coach, and them kind of switching from this offensive type guru, really good at manufacturing yards after the catch, really good at putting his quarterback in the best situation to actually make some of those productive throws. Switching to a guy like Dennis Allen, who has been 100% defense throughout his career, I think there's going to be some growing pains, especially for Jameis Winston, especially for that offense. And I just don't think they're anywhere close to competing with Tampa Bay in that division. So if you look at that, it really is Atlanta, who is the rebuilding team in the NFL right now, and I do think that when it's all said and done, I would expect Carolina to potentially finish second overall with a better version of Baker Mayfield than what we saw in 2021.
The data scientist, betting analyst, PFS Ben Brown's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Let's double back to the Colts for a moment, too, and look at their offense as a whole. What are the PFF number expectations for, in his first season, the Matt Ryan-led offense of the Colts? What are you guys seeing?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some production, right? I do think that Matt Ryan has definitely shown it before. We have them as, they've moved pretty significantly, or not really significantly, but they've definitely moved in the Colts' direction, at least as far as winning the AFC South. And I do think that makes a lot of sense given the state of the rest of the division. But we have Matt Ryan, 4,200 passing yards, right around 28 touchdown passes, 8.5, so right around 9 interceptions. So he would be looking somewhat close to what Carson Wentz put forth last year. But I think from that perspective, if you fold in, production from Jonathan Taylor as well, respecting, some of those RPO type situations more so than what, maybe Carson Wentz had, I do think that we're going to see an offense that can finish, in the top 10 from an EPA perspective. And I do think that's what they're going to need to do in order to really make some noise, not only in the AFC South, but throughout the course of the playoffs and potentially competing with some of these top teams in the AFC Conference.
You at all concerned about the pass catchers, whether we're talking about wide receiver or tight end? I think, and I hope, because I think that the season offensively with expectations hinges on just how much they get from Nyheim Hines, who was so underutilized a year ago. It was ridiculous. But right. do they have enough in the pass catching area to, extend just past being, maybe the first option as far as the AFC South is concerned?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the reason for the concern, right? Outside of left tackle, it's that number 2 receiving option. And like, I know we talked about it kind of after, Matt Ryan, the trade actually happened. Like, are they going to bring in Julio Jones? He's still floating around out there. Even if he does give them, 40 to 50% of pass routes ran for that particular team, I do think that some of his veteran expertise could rub off quite well on a guy like Alec Pierce or, some of these other Mike Strahan, those types of players that they have behind them. And they have, really tall, really strong, built up receiving unit. It's just been, completely, we just don't know exactly what to expect for them, right? I mean, Michael Pittman flashed pretty significantly in his sophomore season, but it's hard to say that he is a legitimate number 1 wide receiver on every single team in the NFL. And that's what he's absolutely going to have to be for the Indianapolis Colts. And even if he is that, where's the number 2 option, right? And you look around and you look at like what Matt Ryan has been comfortable doing previously in his career, and it hasn't really involved, the tight end and the running back position as much as the Colts even had those types of positions involved in the passing game last year, right? Like, I think Matt Ryan was basically right around his pass attempt percentage to a tight end positions right around 17% throughout his career. The Colts targeted tight ends around 19 or 20%, really high target percentage to running backs as well. That's just not a spot where Matt Ryan has really focused on or had a ton of success on throwing to in his career. It's always been that wide receiver position. So it's asking a lot for Alec Pierce to kind of step in and be a bona fide number 2 option at the NFL level right away in his rookie year. So I would still not be surprised whatsoever if they bring Julio Jones in at some point. I do think that they need maybe just a little bit further veteran type depth. They have, the cap space, potentially a little over $12 million in order to do that. So I honestly don't hate that play. And you kind of take what you can get from Julio Jones and try and keep him healthy by, maybe limiting a lot of his snaps to only 30 to 40% of the total snaps played for any particular game. So that's how I would love to see them approach, but we'll see if that plays out.
It's funny, too, because I had heard, this goes back to, I don't know, maybe May. I had heard that there was interest there, and then I had a lot of people that didn't hear that and shot it down, and then obviously nothing happened. So we just kind of moved on. But I'd heard that going back to May. I haven't heard anything since, but back in May, I'd heard that they certainly did have a level of interest, and I'm not sure if that's revisited at all. But yeah, certainly back in May, I'd heard that, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think maybe now at this stage, like, they're going to have, the Alec Pierces, they're going to have the rookies here in training camp relatively quickly. Maybe they want a week or two to see where those guys are actually at, maybe how they're gelling with Matt Ryan, and then they make a move for somebody like, Julio Jones or something, and one of these veteran guys to at least provide a little bit of stability at the beginning of the season at that number 2 wide receiver position. But I wouldn't be surprised for a team that, it's definitely AFC South championship or bust type of mentality to see them potentially make a move at that wide receiver position as we get into training camp.
You view TY Hilton as being done here as a wide receiver?
I think he's done, right? I mean, if you were asking me right now if it was, if I could choose between T.Y. Hilton or Julio Jones, I would definitely take Julio Jones. Unfortunately, they're just not in the same arena, I think, anymore. So I think, Hilton's tried to hang on as best he can. Injury-riddled season last year, but I just would not bank on him being anything whatsoever at this point in his career from my perspective.
It's Ben Brown of PFF on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I have made a lot about what I really did enjoy in what they did defensively this offseason. Starts with Gus Bradley. Yannick Ngakoue, and I didn't mind at all bringing in Stephon Gilmore. Let's start on the backside of this. Stephon Gilmore, at the end, started to catch up again. There have been injury concerns, certainly in his recent history here. Where is Stephon Gilmore, according to PFF, as we start this season?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, didn't play, a full percentage of snaps last year, but was still productive, outside of that Bill Belichick type tree. So we had him as a 77.1 PFF grade, definitely above average, can be, a legitimate shutdown cornerback still in the NFL level. And I do think, like you said, moving on from Rockiston, being able to bring in Stephon Gilmore and still getting Yannick Ngakoue, who really struggles from a rush defense perspective, but can definitely get after the quarterback, has a high pressure percentage when just asked basically to rush the passer. I think he can be really productive in some limited snaps when they don't necessarily have to be run specific or get on his run fits as much as other guys have to. So I like the Stephon Gilmore signing quite a bit. Like you said, I think last year, not necessarily a high variance type defense, but we're pretty fortunate from a turnover perspective. We'll see if that sort of carries forward here again in 2022. But I think overall, they're a team that is definitely moving in the right direction. I do think a lot of it has to do with the defensive side and what they already have in place, especially along the edge positions, I would say.
A lot of what I liked was Yannick Ngakoue. I thought that he brought a talent here, consistent edge rushing talent that we haven't seen since Robert Mathis around here. Those are lofty expectations. Now, those that counter that point and do not agree with my philosophy believe that there's a reason why this guy has played for now 5 teams in his short, I guess, kind of short NFL career. Is there anything to that? And would you expect him to have a consistently large season coming off that edge?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do think, some of the moves that happened to him moving from Jacksonville to Minnesota realizing that they were nowhere close to being a contender and kind of shipping him off midseason as well. I'm not necessarily going to knock him for it. I do think the initial move out of Jacksonville maybe would raise some red flags, but outside of that, I don't think there's a ton of concern him continuously being kind of shuffled around throughout the league because, like we said, I mean, his pass rush ability can be at a really high level. It's just the fact that maybe he doesn't necessarily bring it as much as he should when playing run defense. Maybe he's not as sound as he technically should be, and maybe that rubs some defensive coordinators the wrong way. I still think given the right coach, given the right defensive scheme, given the right context for when he is actually playing for that particular defense, that he can be one of the better edge rushers at the NFL level, and he has flashed that throughout his NFL career. So I like the dice roll. I do think that trading him basically straight up for Brock Ya-Sin makes a ton of sense with where this defense is at, particularly from a team building perspective. So I don't know if he's going to live up to the Robert Mathis comparison, but I think as a rotational piece, he can definitely be really productive from a pressure standpoint.
I probably shouldn't even mention Robert Mathis. I just know that they haven't had anybody off the edge consistently since him. I don't think he's going to put up the type of numbers at all that Mathis did, but we've just been kind of begging here for a while. Anybody with an edge rush that is consistent, that's the key word here, consistent. I think he can provide that. How much do you put into his past relationship with Gus Bradley as being the determining factor about how he can help this team defensively this year?
Definitely. I mean, I think there's like a continuity aspect with player and coaches that definitely matters, right? And the history there that where we've seen him actually get the best out of Yannick Ngakoue, and that can definitely carry forward. And I do think that with the comfort level that those two have with Ngakoue, understanding, his overall role in that Gus Bradley type scheme, that's how you're going to see him maximize his potential. And I do think that, the fit and everything else does make a lot of sense. So I do think, as maybe a little bit of a dice roll, I think it definitely makes a lot of sense. And like, we've talked about, last year, I do think Keiti Pay as well, in his second year is definitely a guy who could take a pretty drastic step as well. And if, you're getting some decently high level production out of both those guys, this is, one of the best defenses in the NFL, I would say, if that actually plays out.
All right, I do want to look at really quick with Ben Brown before I let you go here. The Tennessee Titans, obviously winning that division, had the 1 seed of the AFC. Things didn't go right regarding Ryan Tannehill. We'll get to that in just a second, but how do you think they're going to look coming off that 12-win season this year, and especially after they felt the need to unload that significant weapon they had in A.J. Brown on the outside offensively?
Right, definitely. I mean, they're asking a lot from a guy like Robert Woods, who's coming off, a mid-season ACL tear. Tried to immediately draft A.J. Brown's replacement, Treylon Burks. We'll see how well that adds up as well. He's a guy that, a lot of people were really high on heading into the draft class. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan just based on how he was actually winning at the college level. It doesn't really translate as well as a lot of people think. So I don't know. From a PFF perspective, we've probably been lower than what we even should be on the Tennessee Titans throughout the past couple of seasons, just based on, some of their offensive scheme perspective, how much they want to run the football with Derrick Henry. A lot of what they do with Ryan Tannehill does seem to be a little bit of almost smoke and mirrors from a play action perspective. They have obviously done pretty well in bringing him on as a free agent, getting a lot out of him, but he still hasn't necessarily flashed, top 5 type quarterback play. So I think they are, not necessarily that they're not going to be relevant in the AFC South, but I do think they're probably still overvalued where they are from a betting perspective. I definitely think this is a division that the Indianapolis Colts should win relatively easily, and I do think we're going to see the Titans maybe take another step back here in 2022.
It also is clear that the way that season ended, everybody was forcing themselves with good reason, because Tannehill gave them that confidence, but obviously that confidence was damaged at the end of their postseason a year ago. Combine that with Derrick Henry, and are we going to see a begin to fade type of Derrick Henry more so than even we saw a year ago?
Exactly. And this is kind of the age clip, right? You look at that 28, 29 year old age range for running backs, and especially a guy like Derrick Henry with his running style, how many carries he's actually been getting the past 3 years, missed significant chunks of time last year, and is no longer looks like this indestructible type back. It definitely have multiple seasons with a lot of lingering injuries, or a significant one. I do think that severely hampers what they want to do offensively. And, like we said, he's getting older already. This is kind of the spot where you do see running backs tend to be a lot less productive than what they have been early on in their careers. And I do think that him, potentially falling off the proverbial cliff could be, a pretty dramatic finish to an unfortunate Titans season. I do think that if they're not getting the production that they need from him at a high-end level, losing A.J. Brown is only going to, expound their difficulties offensively, and then they really don't have a lot of difference makers there, and I think they're going to be an offense that finishes in the back half to the teens or later from an offensive perspective, and then they are relying on a defense that isn't necessarily bad, but doesn't necessarily have a lot of the difference makers that even a team like the Indianapolis Colts have. So I'm lower on the Titans. I definitely think if you're betting right now, it's got to be the Colts to win the division. And if I was wagering on somebody to finish second, I would probably lean more so towards the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans right now.
Oh, man. It's Ben Brown with a big swing right there on PFF via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. One final thing with you. The Colts are matched up this season, schedule-wise, with the AFC West. So prediction time here with the Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos all having these significant names. And I'll go ahead and factor in Derek Carr still as that significant name with a new coach. With the Raiders, where are we going to see the best quarterback play? Who do you think individually will be the best this season coming out of at the quarterback position, the AFC West?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the tried and true. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I know pretty chaotic at certain points, had some really high upside type plays, and definitely some really low lows last year. But I do think we're going to see a much more refined Chiefs offense without Tyreek Hill, and I do think we're going to see why Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL in 2022. So I think he's going to be the guy, and I do think that the Chiefs are still going to be the team to beat in the AFC West when it's all said and done.
Ben Brown, PFF, the data scientist, betting analyst, kind of jabbed me a little bit with the rotational piece regarding Yannick Ngakoue. I hope he's more than that. I've made a lot out of him this offseason.
Here we go. The nice thing is we get to find out here in about a month and a half. Yeah. So the waiting is almost over, thankfully.
You kind of kicked me in the sack on that one right there. I'm going to have to answer to that one when I hang up with you here. I guarantee you.
I always appreciate it, though. It's always fun, JMV. Let me know when you want to do it again for sure.
All right, tell me this. How can people get your work? Because I know you guys are getting ready and have your predictions going at PFF.
Definitely, yeah. So you can follow me on PFF_Ben Brown. Haven't done a ton of content this offseason so far. I've been working on some things behind the scenes, but we do have a PFF beta mobile app coming out tomorrow. So if you want to find, the latest and greatest from a betting and fantasy perspective, hit me up. We can get you on that beta list. We're going to have it in time for everybody before the start of the NFL season. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to that release, and looking forward to getting some feedback from people on, changing how people are, taking into account some of these bets and fantasy predictions from PFF specifically. So,
all right. So tell me this: are you eating walleye? Is that the fish of choice up there?
That's the fish. That is the fish. That's the only fish up here, basically. So yeah, a lot of walleye, shore lunch. It doesn't get any better than that. I'll say that much.
Shore. What is a shore lunch?
It's just like the breading sprinkle, basically, or something. So you can either do a broiled or you can do the more of the deep fried type stuff. So depending on how you like it, though, yeah, we eat a lot of walleye up here if we're catching them.
You put tartar sauce on it or cocktail sauce?
I'm more of a tartar sauce guy myself. What are you?
I can switch around a little bit, but there are times when I dig the tartar sauce. I don't want the tartar sauce too sweet. Would you agree?
Right. I would agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I don't do a ton of tartar sauce. I'm actually fine a lot with just a little lemon squeezed on my walleye, to be honest with you, as well. A lot of times. So
I could dip that bad boy in some cocktail sauce and be okay, though. I can.
Right.
All right. Hey, enjoy the rest of your vacation in northern Minnesota. We'll do it again soon, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you, JMV. Have a great show.
It's Ben Brown, PFF data scientist, betting analyst, northern Minnesota vacation. All right, on your fish, that's how they pronounce it where I'm from, fish. On your fish, tartar sauce or cocktail sauce?
Neither.
Nothing?
Neither.
You just put nothing on your fish?
I put a little bit of lemon, and that's it.
All right, what are we here? Tartar sauce or cocktail sauce on your fish? Fish. I want some fish. Man, every single Friday back all the way through, from kindergarten through the 12th grade at Eastern High School, now Eastern Green High School, every Friday was what? Fish. Give me mustard with my fish. Beats them both. I go tartar sauce. I just can't have the sweet tartar. I can't be too sweet. Shout out. I stopped on my way home. Actually, I had grouper from Kaplinger's on Friday. I had grouper and alligator bites. I like me some gator, everybody. Give me some of that gator. Hey, C. Fitch, I know he's a fisherman. He puts ketchup on his. Hey, quick break. We'll come back. I like fish. I don't know. Are you batter? You got to batter dip it, or can you do it broiled? Can you do it?
I can do both.
Baked? Yeah. I've got some Gordon's Fisherman cod that's frozen right now in my freezer. Some cod. You want some cod? Quick break. We'll come back. Hey, it sounds great, right? Because we're leaning right into it now. Race Trash, anything goes, top of the hour. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Fine jewelry from Shane Company makes a great gift because it has so much sentimental value. It can hold a memory, carry a story, or signify a special event in your life. We design our jewelry in-house to ensure every piece is crafted to the highest standards. And we back that up with our free lifetime warranty. Whether you get a diamond necklace, a tennis bracelet, or a stunning 3-stone anniversary ring, Shane Company's classic styles have a beauty and elegance that will be appreciated forever. We also have trending new styles, like our 14-karat gold zodiac charms, fun paperclip chains, luminous opal earrings and pendants, as well as a truly special limited edition collection featuring cherry pink tourmaline sourced by Tom Shane. Make your gift even more special by personalizing it with a birthstone or an engraving. Capture your sentiment with a gift from Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Yeah, that's right. I bet you didn't expect to see me here. Well, here I am. Let me tell you about a little something called respect. You ever heard of it? You know what? I think it's
You're good at using your time in the shower to replay conversations and say what you should have said. We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
I think it's time for you to get out and you should just leave.
Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Freaks on Parade Tour. Zombie, Mudvayne, together. This trip is for real. This Thursday night, Ruoff Music Center with Static X and Powerman 5000. Get tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Zombie, Mudvayne, part of the Coors Light concert series.
Hey, JMV for John and Chris Love Heating and Air. Have you guys noticed the temps coming up for the rest of the week? I know we've had round number one. We had to get through these mid-90s, upper 90s. We got to go through this again. How is your cooling unit doing? I would tell you, get my guys out there from Love Heating and Air. Give that thing the once-over just in case, because you don't want it to crap out on you at the worst time when it's around 99 around you. Just make sure everything's working efficiently. You're cool and comfortable in your home, and it's not costing you a great deal. Get it checked up today at 317-353-2141. That's Love Heating and Air. Tell John and Chris Love that I sent you. 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
The amount of money our clients receive with a simple cash-out refinance is life-changing. Learn more and get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326-241.
Big Red Liquors. Big Gas Giveaway. This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards. Yes, you could win a $500 gas card. Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
David Kaplan, what's going to happen with the Bears? Build a dome or go out to Arlington Park?
They are going to Arlington Park. Mayor Lightfoot, she's insane. If she thinks putting a dome on Soldier Field is all it's going to take, Soldier Field's a dump. Putting a dome on top of a dump makes it a domed dump. That's what it is. I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join this crummy snobatorium? But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Rakestraw, Ben Brown, podcast, 1075thefan.com. Top of the hour. Race Trash, anything goes. Make sure you get dialed in. If you don't know the drill, I'll explain it to you coming up here at the top of the hour. One Republic tickets. Their show is a week from Saturday. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. And I've got tickets for you when you hear me play a song from One Republic. Your cue to call, number 9, is going to go. I think we got one area show tonight. Is that Nora Jones tonight? I believe over at TCU Amphitheater. There may be more, and I apologize if I don't hit them, but I believe Nora Jones is over at TCU coming up later on tonight. But another big week out at Ruoff, so enjoy that. Take your chance at One Republic tickets coming up a little bit later on in the show. Malt vinegar. You guys, malt vinegar on my fish. That is Long John Silver's. That's your treat. I'm going to stop at Long John Silver's on my way home. Is it still good? When's the last time you've been to Long John Silver's?
I've never had it in my life.
You've never had Long John's? Well, see, you're not old enough to know when it used to be awesome. It was a dining experience. You would walk up the pier. It looked like a pier. I mean, your parents would dock their 83 Oldsmobile on the pier in front of Long John Silver's in Bedford, Indiana, walk up the pier onto the dock and then in. And it looked like the innards of an old ship. You had benches and you had tables that looked old, aged. You get to walk by. You got to walk by where they actually made it. You had a window with dripping grease everywhere, and you knew that they were going to load you up with those little grease particles, those crumbles, right? Those pieces of grease that were fried. And you had that with your fish. You had that with your peg leg chicken legs. You had that with your hush puppies, your fries. Never Long John Silver's. You missed out on a lot. It was a dining experience. Dining experience. Pauline Indy says Long John Silver's is good. Good if you want bubble guts. I get that if I eat anything. It doesn't matter. That's just what happens. I could eat Long John Silver's and get that. I could go home and eat a head of lettuce and I would get that. It does not matter. That is just me in a nutshell. But no, at Long John Silver's, that's where you would go for the malt vinegar, baby. Right there. JMV, I'm not a fish person, but I've never heard of cocktail sauce on fish. True? Try it sometime, man. Cocktail sauce, really anything on seafood, cocktail sauce goes in well. Always goes in well. JMV, did he really just say that Yannick Ngakoue is kind of like a rotational piece? He did. Did you not hear him? That was a steel-toed boot kick right to my groin. Because all I've done is talk about how I can't wait to watch him play. And I believe he described him as rotational. Well, that's not good. I can't have that. It's got to be, I said consistent edge rush, not rotationally consistent. You think he's really going to be rotational?
If he's only rotational, the Colts are in trouble. He's got to be.
Trouble. I'm going to have to hear about that all year.
He's got to be a double-digit sack guy. Got to be.
Rotational. I love me some Ben Brown, but man, that was a kick right to my satchel. You know what? This is so good, and we should. Calvin Fitz says, can we do a JMV takeover fish fry? Yes. What do they use for a fish fry? Cod? You ever been to a fish fry?
Once before.
Frog legs.
In Wisconsin.
Fish fry. Yes, we can have a JMV takeover fish fry. Dang it. Why not? You guys would go, wouldn't you? We would be grandmas from everywhere come out to a fish fry. All you got to do is hang a sign and everybody's grandma comes out for that. You tell me you've never been to a fish fry with your grandma, I'm telling you, you're a liar. You have. Everybody has. Everybody's grandma goes to a fish fry. So, yes, C. Fitch, that is an outstanding idea that you have right there. JMV, did Ben Brown say rotational? What are you going to do if that's the case? All you've done is talk about him all year. Exactly. Not all year, but all off season. Yes. I have to dine on a lunch of words. That won't be good at all. Got to have more with that. Can't be rotational. He likes, certainly, on the end of that defense, Stephon Gilmore. Hopefully that's the case. Corey Hall says Long John Silver's is a dying breed. The only one around I know of anymore is the one on East Street on the south side. Yeah, let's see. Well, there's one in Whiteland, I know. You guys wouldn't know that if you didn't live in Whiteland, or between Whiteland and Greenwood on 31. There's one right there. So, there you go, Rexhampton. I'm heading to Finch Creek to check out this Dizzy Pro-Am, and Lance, I'll report back. Do so. Hey, tell Lance to send me a picture. Yeah, Lance Stevenson is playing in the Dizzy Pro-Am up at Finch Creek tonight. So those of you that like Lance a great deal, head on up there to Noblesville and then stop back by. You can stop inside Ford's Garage and get the JMV burger. Tucker Barnett says, my grandparents would take us in their Robin Egg Blue station wagon when I was a kid. Any fish fry is going to do. Anyone. That is so true. Everybody's grandma went to one of those. Always have and always will. Yeah, I've seen that Long John Silver's in Beech Grove on Emerson. I passed by that this morning, no doubt about it. Blake had to run at Ron Colley, so I'm running around the southeast side around Beech Grove this morning. Did you wave at me? Did I see you? Scott says, fish fry Friday nights at Wheatley's in Wanamaker. Shout out to Wheatley's in Wanamaker. It's from Scott from New Pal. See, that's what we need right here. We need to identify. We're going to identify the best fish places in and around Indianapolis. That's wonderful. You guys are on target right there. Hey, quick break and we'll come back. Race Trash Anything Goes. That is coming up at the top of the hour. Play off of what Ben Brown had to say regarding the Colts. You guys think? He had mentioned that Tennessee, his expectation is Tennessee takes a mammoth fall. Did he say that Jacksonville would finish in second above Tennessee? Do I have to check the tape? I believe he did.
I think he did, yeah. That's a lot of trust in Trevor Lawrence and thinking that Urban Meyer really sucks as a coach.
Well, and that's probably the case. But how about that just spectacular fall for Tennessee? I mean, that's more the surprise than Jacksonville. I mean, when you have, you have a dude like Urban Meyer screwing everything up for you, and you hope that they get a breath of fresh air, take advantage of that schedule, and do some things with a bottom feeder type of schedule within the AFC South. But, man, Tennessee, that's a trip and a fall right there, if that's accurate.
Who on the Titans really scares you? Henry? Is that it? Tannehill doesn't? It's really, I would say, Henry and Mike Vrabel.
I was going to say Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is a really good coach. Larry Cook says Long John Silver's in Martinsville, all you can eat Sundays. It's just $10.99? Is that true? What's his name again over there?
Elijah.
Huh? Elijah? Yeah. Sorry about that, Elijah. I do this all the time. Seriously, Elijah? Is that true? Yeah. $10.99? Long John Silver's all you can eat? It's in Martinsville. We can't make you charge that. That's awesome right there. Let's go. All you could eat for $10.99. They'd have to call the paramedics for me down there, probably. We got to get this guy out of here. Race Trash Anything Goes coming up at the top of the hour. 239-1070. We'll get you ready for that, and then One Republic tickets as well. Rakestraw, Ben Brown. Tennessee's really going to fall that far. Rotational for Ngakoue. And the Myles Turner rumors that one absolutely is unbelievable. The other, maybe so. That and more with you next.
We want to have a party at your house with your friends this summer. Go to 1075thefan.com/contest to enter to win a Connecticut Backyard Bourbon broadcast in your backyard with JMV.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Credit card debt in the U.S. has hit an all-time high of $930 billion. And while most folks are struggling to get through the month wondering which bills to pay, the greedy credit card companies are making record profits. Your home is probably worth more than ever before, and that equity is just sitting there. There's never been a better time to look at a cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, John here for the absolute best in plumbing. Seriously, if you need it, just really. The only time you think about plumbing most of the time, right, is when you get an emergency. But seriously, if you're thinking about doing something in your house where plumbing is certainly a necessity, I want you to go with the best. And here's the best. It's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Outstanding people. Lance is great. Thing about it, their versatility. They can do anything plumbing for you. They can handle all, and I mean all of your plumbing needs, but they are extraordinary when it comes to the plumbing emergency. And at some point in all of our lives, we will experience a plumbing emergency. So always know you have the best on hand. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526 online. That's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Sip and save at Circle K with our great new drink subscription. Join Sip and Save today and enjoy one drink a day every day for just $5.99 a month. Enjoy your favorite Circle K ice cold fountain drink, Froster, or freshly ground coffee every day. That's 30 drinks a month for only $5.99. So sip and save at Circle K. Sign up in store or at CircleK.com. Circle K. Take it easy.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Read the signs. Slow down. Stay alert.
This is Kelly Watson, business manager of Labor's Local 1112. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down. Save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
If you suffer from joint pain, from arthritis, or an injury, you know the traditional treatments. Pain meds and steroids, and then surgery. I'm Kevin Bowen, and I've got some great news about a better way right here in Indianapolis from local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and they have offices in Eagle Creek and Greenwood, and they are advanced, exciting, a natural alternative that can give you lasting relief using your own body's healing power. Listen, steroid shots are toxic to your joints, pain meds are addictive, and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022. These old ways are out, and the new ways are here in Indy. Regenerative medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using the natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. So give QC Kinetics a call for a free consultation. 463-235-7160. Again, locations in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160.
Baseball's best face-off in L.A. at the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, this is School of Fish, which is obvious in the conversation we just had. Rakestraw, Ben Brown, podcast 107.5, thefan.com. Did you guys see this? There's a new trailer out. You got to check this out. Manti Te'o. Edition of Netflix Untold. Manti Te'o. That's a documentary, I think. Are we all going to be in front of the TV for that one? We all watching that, Netflix-wise? You got it, don't you?
If you're able to figure out how to turn the channel to Netflix, you might be able to watch
Untold. Yeah, I might have a problem with that. Why can't it be on Hulu? Come on. Or Pluto. I love Pluto. Everything's free at Pluto. Thank you, Pluto.
Is the whole documentary on his fake
girlfriend hoax? That is incredible.
How do you have a whole documentary on that?
Well, the wildest story in college football, Elijah's just talking to himself over there behind you. That's pretty sweet. I like that. I love it. The wildest story in college football history gets the documentary treatment. A new Netflix doc will detail Manti Te'o and the fake girlfriend hoax. Man, the whole thing is on that. You gotta love it, don't you? Midsummer Classics tonight. Bill is at 239-1070 right now. Hello, Billy.
Hey, how you doing today, JMV?
Greatest all-time All-Star game in your opinion, brother. What do you got?
1971.
Yeah.
At the old Tiger Stadium.
No, they hit that's when Reggie Jackson hit the transformer with that home run.
That's exactly.
Off of Doc Ellis. Was it off of Doc Ellis?
It was off Doc Ellis, and he wasn't on acid.
He was clean that night? Well, no wonder. You better get back on acid because, Reggie hit that about a country mile, to say the least.
Yeah, and Bench had a home run. Aaron had a home run. I think Mays made
Clemente? I think Clemente had a home run too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did. And there's a really underrated, not only underrated player, but, he left us early because he was going down to Nicaragua, where he was from, to deliver hurricane relief supplies, and he was just tremendous, and he was fun to watch also. So that was my favorite All-Star game. But I did want to throw one thing out about a podcast I saw, a local podcast, Locked On Colts.
Yeah,
and they were addressing a rumor that the Colts had some interest in Odell Beckham Jr. Have you heard that?
Nah, the only thing I remember is this was back in the winter. I think it was after the Colts finally tracked down their quarterback in Matt Ryan. He had a tweet that said, something to the sort, again, this is not a direct quote or anything, that, how good he would look being thrown to by Matt Ryan. I think it was something like that.
What would you think about somebody like, I'm not saying Odell Beckham is a troublemaker, but he seems to be transient. And there's some controversy around him. He wouldn't fit in the locker room here, would he?
Well, listen, he comes off an injury. I am pretty open at that position for a veteran presence of help for this team. So I really wouldn't at any time. I would not write off anybody. And it may not make a lot of sense right now, but it may make more sense later. Maybe it doesn't make sense because, coming off an injury. Maybe Julio Jones doesn't make sense because he's often injured. But it may make a little bit more sense as we get into this. Just right now, it probably doesn't. But there may be a point in time where you may need to be open to the idea. Because it seems like with this team, there's always that point in time at that position.
And if that's what they really want to rebuild, then that would be a great choice. Lastly, and did you get that email that I sent you?
Well, that's a problem. I guess I'm not very good at that. When'd you send it? Tell me.
Well, there's a shirt designer. She's a friend of mine, and she's designed 2 separate No Jackassery shirts.
Can you send that again? Because my stuff gets buried, Billy, and I'm looking right now. You don't even want to know how many emails are open in it's ridiculous. I really need my ass whipped for it. Can you send that again?
I can. And
thank you, buddy.
And my intention with getting these shirts out there is I think they can be sold and the proceeds could go to Teachers Treasures.
All right. I'm all for that. You send that to me again because right now I've got 3,350 unread emails. So I really do. I need my ass whipped. You know what I mean?
Your inbox is bigger than the Bible.
That's terrible. I'm terrible. Send that to me again.
I will.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you believe that. Great jackassery shirt, and I can't find it. I have 3,300 plus. That's so dumb. I'm dumb. You know what? You can call Raise Trash, anything goes, at 239-1070 and just absolutely beat me up. That's terrible. I'm embarrassed by that. But I'm honest, right? I'm always honest with you. You know that. I'm embarrassed by that. Race Trash, anything goes on the other side. Anything you want to talk about, you know the drill. You call up 239-1070. You don't get checked in. We put you on the air. We talk about most anything that you want to talk about, certainly coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour. Race Trash, anything goes, racetrash.com. If you want to be a driver, non-driver, a new career with a great company, or if you want the best in waste management and you're talking about recycling, they got it for you. That's Race Trash. Racetrash.com. It's Race Trash. Anything goes. Next.
It's time for camp. No, not that camp. We're talking Colts training camp.
Kevin Bowen here at Grand Park. Colts back to work.
So now we can ask the big question.
Consistently much better this year.
The wide receiver core is a concern.
They would have liked to have seen some sort of veteran move there.
The Colts have just disregarded.
The NFL season countdown starts next Tuesday. It's Colts camp.
42 ISO X Flash. I want
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
O'Reilly. Stay cool this summer with AC Pro and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant products that include a hose and gauge. Beat the heat before you hit the road with AC Pro at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
JMV here, Race Trash. Race Trash Service. I mentioned this as we're getting ready for Race Trash. Anything goes, right? The absolute best in waste disposal and recycling. All the big folks do it around here, certainly. Victory Field, they utilize Race Trash. Butler utilizes Race Trash. Why not you? I utilize Race Trash. Can you imagine if I have 3,300 plus emails in my inbox? I probably need the best in waste disposal and recycling. I have it with Race Trash. You can too. Log on today and sign up for it, racetrash.com. Now, if you're looking for a new career as a driver or a non-driver, they got you covered there. Great pay, great benefits for a great company that's been family operated since the 1960s. That's Race Trash. Sign up today, racetrash.com.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code BUS.
Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Freaks on Parade Tour. Zombie, Mudvayne, together. This trip is for real. This Thursday night, Ruoff Music Center with Static X and Powerman 5000. Get tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Zombie, Mudvayne, part of the Coors Light concert series.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. Owner Chris Wedekin sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is a great option to heat and cool individual spaces while blending into the decor.
You want your poker room to be dressed up, you could take a vinyl wrap and put on these. If you like the more modern look, they have styles in black, silver, and pearl white that would be more aesthetically pleasing for your rooms.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
Baseball tomorrow, along with some Colts. Rob Dibble is going to join us. Always great. And, of course, the fantastic, all-knowing, all-traveling Jason Benetti. Join me tomorrow, noon to 3.
The Ride with JMV.
Awesome! Totally awesome! All right, Hamilton.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Rakestraw, Ben Brown, podcast 1075thefan.com. Ben Brown described Yannick Ngakoue as a rotational piece, which has damaged my street cred. Podcast with each 1075thefan.com. Even more damage was done with my 3,350 unread emails in my inbox right now. That's awful. I am getting absolutely ripped inside the lounge via YouTube Live, and I deserve every last critical word of it. I do. From all of you. Stansberry, Lick My Boots, Richmond, J-Law, Jennifer, everybody, just do it. I deserve every last critical word. JMV, the Long John Silvers and Jasper served beer when I was a kid. Outstanding. That's great. That's awesome. See, I didn't see this. Jared G says, and this is in response to what Bill just called in about regarding Odell Beckham Jr. Jared had just tweeted me, Odell Beckham Jr. actually posted a picture of his son wearing a customized Colts jersey last week. I'm telling you. Because I'm always, you know this, I may not be right about defensive ends not being rotational. I may put cocktail sauce on my fish, and I may have over 3,000 emails in my inbox. But what I have told you, and I've been accurate every single time, every single year, is about the wide receiver position of the Colts. And I'm telling you, don't be scared away from any sort of revisit. Not at all. You got your fingers crossed. Yeah, look at the Madden rating yesterday. Not that matters, but Paris Campbell. There's a lot of people that are counting on Paris Campbell. And certainly the Colts are included in that group. All right, Race Trash, anything goes. 239-1070. You call in, you don't check in. We talk to you with whatever you want to talk about at that number, 239-1070. Racetrash.com, the best in waste disposal and recycling and job opportunities for drivers and non-drivers right now. Racetrash.com presents to you Race Trash, anything goes at 239-1070. We'll start with line 2. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hello, JMV. It's Big Glenn. How are we doing today?
Big Glenn, I am fantastic. Great to hear from you. What do you got?
I'm doing great, man. So here's the thing. I am close friends with the Air Force Squad, David and Ron Kraft. They are, his son, Ron, is hosting a wrestling show on Saturday at the Hendricks County 4-H Fair. It will be taking place at 3:30 p.m. at the Green Cycle Pavilion Gate. And tickets are $10 with paid admission. It's going to be a great wrestling show, man.
Are you going, Big Glenn?
Oh, of course I am. You know me, man. I love getting out and doing things.
What now? You do wrestling at SmackDown? Did I get that right? SmackDown is here in November, correct?
Yes, November 11th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
I'm going to ask you this. What is the better product now, the WWE or the ACW or whatever the hell that is on TNT?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I would say they both good, but I've been a WWE guy all my life. I have to give them the edge.
Who is the greatest wrestler of all time, according to Big Glenn?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. I think that's probably either The Undertaker or Hulk Hogan or Steve Austin or Ric Flair or Andre the Giant would be like the top 5 right there, right?
Yes, that's like the Mount Rushmore of all-time greatest wrestlers right there.
Oh, I always have to go with either. And Big Glenn, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Race Trash, anything goes. Electric Steve Regal or Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I kind of go by the name. I want a great name. Got to have a great name. Electric Steve Regal was always good. He was a local kind of Channel 4 back in the day guy. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff was the then WWF. Line 3, Race Trash, anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, John, it's Adam. How you doing?
Hello, Adam. It's great to hear from you. What's up, bud?
Hey, so the comments in the YouTube, the lounge, Wheatley's Fish Fry on Fridays is legit good. You should try it.
Yes. Where's that again? One more time?
Well, it's darn near across the street from the new Bethel Ordinary.
Okay, so Wheatley's again is what it's called, correct? Wheatley's?
Yeah, it used to be a grocery store.
Okay. All right. I'm all good. I'm all good with a fish fry type of thing. So Wheatley's, I got to check that out. You got it.
Yeah, it's good. I also want to say that Long John Silver's is bathroom mud. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. You're throwing some mud after that visit. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I don't see how the Colts lose any more than 5 games.
5 games.
5.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now. It is just eyeballing it, right? It's a tough-looking schedule, honestly. It is a tough-looking schedule. If they don't lose more than 5 games, everybody's going to be feeling pretty good because that is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but we haven't had a quarterback like this since Lux last year.
I hope you're right, too. I hope that you are right. So anything's got to be better than the way that they faded at the end of last year in embarrassing fashion. But, yes, I'm right there with you. There's no doubt. I will tell you this, Adam. There is no doubt that the expectations are at that level, if not at it, near that level. Certainly win the division. There's no other option than that for this team this year, simply put.
Yeah, I've had season tickets for 3 years. I'd like to go to a home playoff game if I could.
Wouldn't that be nice? So would Jim Irsay, the Colts owner. He would love to go to one of those.
You're right about that. Hey, man, take care.
Anything else, Adam?
No, I'm good, man. Take care.
You got it, buddy. Raise trash. Anything goes. Wheatley's. Across from the new Bethel Ordinary. For Fish on Friday, I'm down. Jason Sanders writes this. I used to pour malt vinegar on my hush puppies every time. Like I forgot every time that I don't like it. That malt vinegar does seem like a good idea, and then you go, wait a minute, what in the world? And there's no going back from that. Like with other stuff, you can, I think I'll wipe this tartar sauce off. Yeah, you know what? Give me a napkin. I'm going to get rid of this cocktail sauce. But the malted vinegar just goes all in right then. Listen, I'm announcing my scent and my taste with authority, and there's not a damn thing now you can do about it once you, squirt me out of that bottle. There's no going back. Line 4 is raise trash, anything goes. 239-1070. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, JMV, it's Matthew.
Hello, Matthew. How's Maine today?
It's hot, but it's pretty good.
Let me make sure that I know this for real, right? I know that where they filmed Shawshank was in Ohio, but Shawshank, the backdrop, was in Maine. Is there for real a Buxton, Maine?
Yes.
Outstanding. I've always wanted to know that. I've never asked. Thank you very much for answering that. What do you got?
You're welcome.
What do you got?
I have a couple of questions. First of all, I don't think Chris Ballard is on the hot seat at all, but I think Frank Reich definitely is. If the Colts don't win the AFC South this year with this talented of a roster, we never will under the helm of Reich. And he's got to go if we don't at least win the South this year. I think that we will, but that's my opinion on that.
I will tell you this, Matt. I do think there's no doubt that to me Reich is going to go. He'd be in trouble before any discussion of Ballard. I will tell you that if they don't live up to expectations, that is problematic. I don't know if I think it's going to be how bad things would fade out of control as to how Jim Irsay, for example, would evaluate that. I do, but he would definitely be before Ballard in any negative pecking order if things don't go as everybody thinks they should go. There's no question about that. Anything else?
Yeah. If you can figure out how to talk to us loungers in the YouTube chat, how come Jake Query can't on the morning show?
I don't know. Can he not talk to them? He's got a computer right over there, right? If you're watching on YouTube Live, I'm pointing to my right. Kyle, why can't he communicate with everybody on the YouTube chat?
All he needs is a Gmail account. He can do it.
Does Bowen communicate with you guys?
Yes. Jake knows that we exist because he acknowledges us once in a while, but he's never talked in the YouTube chat. Kevin does once in a while. Mark's really good about chatted with us.
Yeah, I bet Mark talks you up pretty good.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, Matthew, I'll ask him. I'll probably talk to him on my way home tonight. I'll ask him why. So there may be a reason why. Maybe he's just not signed up over there or what. But, yeah, I was thinking that everybody probably did that. I don't know if Dan does or not, but I would think everybody probably would do. That's part of the stuff I like. Because I get in there and sometimes I cuss and stuff. I can really cut loose inside the lounge. It's like feel good. It's right at home. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matthew, enjoy the rest of the afternoon and early evening in Maine. Thank you for the call and thanks for listening and your participation.
All right, you're welcome.
That's
Bye-bye.
Matthew in Maine. There really is a Buxton, Maine. I think there really is a tree next to a rock fence, and it's surrounded by rocks that has one rock that has no earthly reason for being there. Shawshank.
Can I confess something here?
No.
I've never seen it.
You can't do this with this group.
I know.
You gotta lie.
It's
You
been
gotta
on my-
lie. You gotta lie.
I just haven't gotten to it.
So-
I've wanted to about 5 different times. I've sat down and said, okay, I'm going to watch it. Never got to it.
Unbelievable. You have never seen Shawshank. That literally is on something every night.
Well, I mean, I don't channel surf like you do.
One of the reasons why, though, it's in general long, but then when you add in commercials and stuff, it is, I think the thing goes about 5 hours on like edited normal television.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I could never watch a movie that has, I got a
Not
commercial
5
break.
hours, but at least I think it does go 4 hours.
I don't want to see a commercial break in the middle of my movie.
That's tough. But when it's on, I got to watch it. I can't lie. It's just one of those movies. I have a number of films that when it's on, I feel compelled every single time, no matter how many times I've seen it, to watch it. Jared G., I did not see that Odell Beckham Jr. picture with his son wearing the Colts jersey. I just knew back in March he made, I think it was a tweet, maybe it was an Instagram message or something, looking into showing interest on his ability here with Matt Ryan, but that goes all the way back to late winter, early spring. Yeah, Scott says Shawshank, one of the best. I have to watch it every time it's on, every single time. Under that rock, by the way, it was a note and money. It was a note describing where Andy Dufresne escaped to. You know where it was? In Mexico? You know what this town was? Anybody know? Come on now. Shawshankers out there? Not Shawshankers. Not Cabo. Say Guantanamo. No idea where that is. It's on the Pacific. Say Guantanamo. And he remembered that from Andy telling him that before. Say Guantanamo. There's your Shawshank education. At 239-1070, line 1, race trash, anything goes. You're on the air. Hello?
Hey, it's Pacer Steve.
Pacer Steve, are you happy right now? Are you upset? Are you sad? What's happening?
No, I'm happy. I'm happy.
But Myles is still here. How can you be happy if 33 is still here?
We're going to get to that in a minute. But, hey, back to your wrestling. Talking about great wrestling names. When I grew up, Bobo Brazil and Chief Dan Eagle.
Oh, yeah.
And the Sheik and Flying Fred Curry.
Well, I mean, Dick the Bruiser, Ox Baker. Yes, the obvious guys
Bobo
back in the day.
Brazil had the famous Cocoa Butt.
The Cocoa Butt.
He would hold your head in his hands and forehead to forehead knock you out. That was the famous Cocoa Butt.
I wonder what the numbers were for Channel 4 when that came on a Saturday afternoon. I wonder what type of numbers Channel 4 got.
We used to go down to Veterans Memorial over in Columbus where I grew up and watch all those guys. I had the Sheik's autograph and Bobo Brazil's autograph, and he'd get out of the ring after the show and come around and talk to all the kids.
That is outstanding work right there. Truly is.
Yeah.
What else you got, Pacer Steve?
Okay, as far as Myles Turner, you got 3 options here, and I just want your personal opinion.
Yes.
He starts the year and gets traded at the deadline, gets traded before the start of the year, or none of the above, and they extend him, because option 4, letting him walk for no compensation, I just don't see it. So we either got him all year, half a year, or for years to come? What's it going to be?
I believe, to me, that he's going to hang until the trade deadline, and they're going to roll that dice. That's my belief. But here's why, Pacers, Steve, because I don't think they're willing to take. I think that he would have been dealt already if they felt that the market bared the value that they were looking for. I think he would be gone right now. But the fact that he isn't tells me that the market value isn't where they want it. And to me, I think they're going to be willing to roll the dice before the trade deadline.
Now, what do they do if before the trade deadline he gets, like he always gets, hurt and tanks his trade value, and we cannot get anything for him at the trade deadline, and because that passes with no trade, he's stuck on the roster till the end of the year, and of course then nothing happens. If we play him and he gets hurt, we're forced to extend him, aren't we? Or he walks.
That's why I mentioned you roll the dice, because you're right. All that you described right there with Myles, if something like that happens, that would be disastrous. And then you would look back and, it's kind of like being on the game show and, hoping you're going to get the $5,000 price tag and, you're giving back the $500 one right there. So that is a roll of the dice. I just think, to me, I'm kind of willing because, listen, injury-wise, I'm not as concerned about that as I would be. I think he's going to be able to build his level of play. I don't think they're going to be that much better than what they were a year ago, and I think that he's going to be of value come the trade deadline for a team out there that needs somebody like him.
All right. Well,
but no, I get your concern because I'm right there with you. That's just I'm not sure they're going to do that, but I would guess that they'll roll the dice.
Well, I say trade him now.
Yeah, I just still they may, right? Maybe that PJ Washington deal with the Hornets is, a valid one. Maybe they visit that. We've heard that a couple of different times. But I'm just kind of, I guess, more shocked than anything else that it hasn't been done already.
Talk to you later.
Hey, thank you, Pacer Steve. JMV, was Shawshank's 2-taper VHS back in the day? No, I think it was one, Ryan. I think it was still one tape. It was LP, long play. Gutshot Greg says, JMV, this is Indiana. The ratings for fake wrestling were astronomical. Oh, now stop with my lack of pronunciation. I said Sewantaneo. I said it exactly as Red said it. It is Zewantaneo, and there's no way I could spell it. Can you spell Zewantaneo?
No, I'm looking at the spelling now.
Zewantaneo.
I would have never guessed it starts with a Z.
Come on now. It's on the Mexican Riviera, midway between Puerto Vallarta and Acapulco. Zewantaneo. Race trash, anything goes. A little Shawshank education for everybody. 239-1070. You're up next. Who's this?
Music Mac. How you doing, John?
Hello, Matt. Good to hear from you. Did you enjoy the Doobies on Thursday?
They were amazing.
No, they were great.
They haven't lost anything. That sax player is incredible.
Boy, he was good, wasn't he? I like Pat Simmons is one. He's been on the show before, too. Pat Simmons is a guy. He just kind of stands the test of time. As much as I was there to see the Godfather, and the Godfather was awesome, it was cool to see Patrick Simmons. They sounded in, wheelhouse Doobie Brothers form on Thursday night.
They sounded like a band. Everybody played amazing on the band, and it was an incredible show.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What you got, buddy?
That trade you were talking about earlier in your show, man, I just don't really see that happening. I don't think we're going to give up draft picks that easily.
You're probably right, yeah. And that was a fake one. That was the fake Golden State one I read. Like I think the Charlotte one probably has, I wouldn't say legs or roots completely, but some. That Golden State thing I think is a complete made up pipe dream.
Oh, I agree totally. I just think they've waited too long to get these picks. They're not going to give them away that easily.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That makes you wonder. I just know that Golden State one wasn't accurate. But I like Kuminga a great deal as a future player, but that's not happening.
I don't think he's worth all that.
I don't think Golden State would make him available either. Because at some point they're going to have to change up, and I think there's a reason why. think the reason why they drafted him, they had, the capabilities of waiting while they still won. And I think he's going to be a guy they're going to certainly build around for the future.
Are you excited about Colts training camp coming up?
I don't know how excited I am about training camp, but I'm glad that football is going to be back, and we're going to have some legitimate conversations about that coming up too. I mean, it'll take a little bit to get kick-started, but yeah, this is a season where there's a lot of have-tos, Mac, for this team. There are a lot of have-tos, starting with the division, and there's not going to be, it didn't happen this year because of this and because of that. This is going to be a no-excuses type of season for most people around here, without question. It's a big one.
I don't think there's any more excuses that are going to be accepted.
No, people aren't going to buy them. No doubt about that.
Produce this year.
Yeah.
Love the JMV takeover on Saturday, man.
You got it, buddy. I appreciate you, Mac. I always love you calling. Love the JMV takeover. Hey, JMV, option D for Myles is to hermetically seal him in a cellophane pouch. I just wanted to say pouch, Sam, until February so he doesn't get hurt before the deadline. Man, you guys are having me pronounce a lot of difficult words. Is that purposely? JMV, you nailed it. You nailed it. Zawantaneo. It's an amazing coastal party town. Was there back in the 90s when I was on ATA Airlines. Shout out to ATA. By the way, did you play any Brian Ferry, Roxy Music, or World Party? I have before. I played all. Brian Ferry has been played. Roxy Music. I played Avalon on the show before. And there is no doubt Ship of Fools has been played by World Party on the JMV Takeover. Line 3's Race Trash. Anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, it's Rob, JMV. How are you?
Hello, Rob. Great to hear from you. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you that I think This Is It by Kenny Loggins is a very underrated yacht rock song.
There's no doubt. Well, it's one of the top 5. It's right there. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is one of the top 5. Easily.
Yeah, and also, Whenever I Call You a Friend, the duet with
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's not yacht rock, but I will play if somebody will request it. Steve Perry and Kenny Loggins, Don't Fight It. It's not described as yacht rock, but I will scrunch it in there if need be because I like it.
It's a great one. I'm getting a little concerned. I see a lot of people on Facebook on this yacht rock. I have to remind them that not every song is a yacht rock song.
Exactly.
Quiet Riot sometimes doesn't fall into yacht rock.
No, it is not. Mental health is far from yacht rock. You're absolutely right.
And Everybody Wants to Rule the World is top 5 80s song.
Top 5 80s song. Well, because Song from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears is a top 5 80s album, too. No doubt.
Yeah. Right on.
Well done. Rob, I think we agree on a lot of things right there on Race Trash. Anything goes. We're all in lockstep with that. I love Loggins. Kenny Loggins got married, I think back in the 80s, and everybody was nude. He got married nude. You ever get married nude? Nobody ever got married nude? Anybody out there ever get married while nude?
Between Kenny Loggins and his wedding, and who was that 80s singer who was a nudist on that Caribbean island?
Oh, that would have been
Lita Ford?
Lita Ford.
What's up with all these people? I mean, being nude.
They can. They have the money to be nude. I don't have enough cash to be nude. Because people say, hey, wait a minute, you don't have enough cash, you got to put your clothes back on. But if you have enough money, you can be nude. JB says, what in the hell? You've never seen Shawshank? Get busy living or get busy dying. Red calls into Bob and Tom sometimes. Yeah, this will be, I believe that would be the voice of our good friend Ron Sexton, also known as Donald Reginald Baker. Did you guys know that was his full name? Donald Reginald Baker. True story. Line 3's Race Trash. Anything goes before the break. You're on the air. Who's this? Hello, you're on the air.
This is Tom.
Hello, Tom.
I was the guy that called you on the request line on Saturday and then totally blanked. It was Edwin McCain's I'll Be was what I was looking for.
Yeah. I think, there was a time, I believe, back in the late 90s and into the middle 2000s where Edwin McCain played every WZPL concert they had, right? Wasn't he at every one? I think he was the personal Dave Smiley band back in the day.
Yeah, makes sense. So here's my sports question.
Okay.
So I'm a Steelers fan. Don't hold it against me, but I'm a Steelers fan, and my question is this. Are you penciling in the Colts having a win there this year?
Yes, I thought about that yesterday. I swear to you. I was looking at the schedule, and I looked at Pittsburgh, and normally, as a Colts person, that either you as a fan or me covering them, you look at it and you go, oh, there's a loss because of the history. But no, that's one of those have-tos right there. That is a have to. That is on the schedule as a have to. There's no doubt about it. The first time in a while.
I think you and I are on the same page there because, to be honest with you, that was the reason why I asked the question because that tells me a lot more about where you feel the Colts are.
Yes.
Because I'm guessing I want to know where the Steelers are, but that we won't know until then. But if folks are looking at the Colts saying that's an absolute win or else, then I'd say Frank's job's on the line if it's a loss, that's for sure.
Here's my thing with Frank. I don't like Jim Irsay would not have that on his mind, but if something ends where they don't live up to, and you could base that on the end of last season, if there's something like that where there's just tremendous disappointment, Frank's in trouble. I mean, Frank is in trouble for that. Otherwise, I mean, we'll all evaluate it at the end of the year. But if there anything that has the remnants or the feeling of what you got at the end of this past year, that's when Frank's in trouble.
That last game was embarrassing, and I'm not even a fan. That was just flat out a ball.
And that's exactly how the Colts owner would describe it. And really, he described it in a rip job to both Frank Reich and Chris Ballard, as we know, after the season, too. So that's why I do, I don't expect that to happen, but that's just the type of thing that would have to happen to get the Colts owner to think about it.
I hear you. Keep it up, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for calling on Saturday night, too. This is from Alec Gray, JMV. Did I hear you say over 3,000 unread emails in your inbox right now? That's brutal, brother. At this point, you should call it a wash and start over with a new email address. Well, it's funny, Alec, you mentioned that. I'm assuming, right? I mean, at some point
you got to get a new email, right?
What? I mean,
your email's already outdated.
JMV at 1070thefan.com. We're coming on a year anniversary of that thing getting clipped. I was standing in front of it going, no, I'm joking. I wasn't. But yeah, at some point I probably will, Alec. Maybe that's just what I'm waiting on here. Yeah, this is from Jim McCann in Southern California. This flew past me yesterday while cycling. I wasn't sure what I was seeing. It's now flying over Dodger Stadium, of course, the site of the All-Star game coming up later on tonight. Juan Soto. So what'd you say, Kyle? The Reds are trying to track down Juan Soto? Where's he going to end up going? We talked about the Mets. Where else?
I can't think of any other contenders that would really be going after him.
I mean, normally you think about the Dodgers. Wouldn't be the Dodgers.
No. Yankees, no.
Padres for a minute. I mean, they're going for broke.
Yeah, they could.
They're certainly going for broke. I'm trying to think of teams. Would the Rangers be a team? I mean, they're invested in Corey Seager. Would they be a team? Would the Mariners have any interest? Where's Rodriguez play in the outfield? Center field? Right field? That part would be interesting. I do like that kid a great deal. Thought he handled himself very well yesterday after winning that home run derby. All right, Race Trash, anything goes. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. I'll get back to you coming up on the other side. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
As a contractor installing windows, you deserve a simple choice. Anderson 400 Series windows. They're the cladwood windows contractors trust the most. So much so, they're the windows contractors trust for their own homes. And they even have fewer callbacks for extra peace of mind. When it comes to windows, the choice is simple. It's Anderson 400 Series windows. The windows contractors trust the most. Request a quote at andersonwindows.com today.
Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors.
Hey, John, for Connecticut, the best water out there right now with my friends Joe and John at Connecticut. Seriously, it is a difference maker. People tell you all the time, you got to keep hydrated. You got to keep that water running. And, to me, I didn't really get that until I had the K5 in my home. And again, that is such a huge game changer for you. It is. Great K5 drinking water, all coming from your Premier Series water softener with my friends at Connecticut. And great deals, great pricing right now on the K5 and the Premier Series water softener at the two locations of Connecticut, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side, US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app, download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I see so many customers who have struggled to find a wedding band at other stores. When they come to Shane Company, they find the one. Not only do we have the widest selection of unique wedding bands, we are also experts at helping you find the perfect band to complement your engagement ring, even if it's an heirloom ring. You can play around with stacking bands, try contour bands, or just go with something simple. There are so many options. We also have handsome men's bands, hundreds of styles to choose from in every price range. You might have no idea what you want, but we'll take the time to show you different metal types, fits, and styles. You can even build your own with our online tool. And we offer a free lifetime warranty. Come see us and we'll help you both find a band that you love wearing every day. For some helpful tips, check out our online wedding band guide.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Hey, the best in realty. I've said this before. You should know by now. In case you don't, let me tell you all about it again. It's Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel Realty. 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com, MarkDietel.com. Today, his favorite band, by the way, is the Doobie Brothers, because I saw him at the show last Thursday. All right. He's always working. He was working right then for you as well. He is always working to make sure you get exactly what you want in either a new property, a new home, or just putting yours on the market. Whether you're downsizing or upgrading, Mark is going to get the job done for you. Guarantees multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he's going to list it for free. He's the only person I would trust, and you should too. It's a big deal. It is a big deal when you're out there putting your home on the market. Go with the best. The best that you can trust. That's Mark Dietel. 317-755-4232. 317-755-4232. Online, markdietel.com. MarkDietel.com today.
Oh, while we're in Lawn and Garden, I was thinking I should pick up one of those little things for watering my plants.
A hose?
No, the things that look like teapots, but for plants. You tip it over and it goes blah, 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 blah.
You're good at describing words you've forgotten.
Like those things that give the plants a shower, that you fill up.
A watering can?
Yes, a watering can. I knew that.
We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
Listen to Kevin and Query weekdays from 7 to 10 and call into the pop quiz for your chance to win a signature service Jiffy Lube oil change and a pair of tickets to see the Zac Brown Band Thursday, July 28th at Ruoff Music Center. And listen to The Ride with JMV all this week from 3 to 6 p.m. for a chance to win 2 tickets to see One Republic plus Need to Breathe at Ruoff Music Center on Saturday, July 30th.
For more info, click on 1075thefan.com.
Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Freaks on Parade Tour. Zombie, Mudvayne, together. This trip is for real. This Thursday night, Ruoff Music Center with Static X and Powerman 5000. Get tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Zombie, Mudvayne, part of the Coors Light concert series.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted food cravings and lose the weight. Seminars Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
It's Kevin and Query.
We will be doing a radio show longer than the span in which it looked like DeAndre Ayton might be a Pacer.
As head coach Rick Carlisle said last year about Tristan Thompson, we could reference that for DeAndre Ayton.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
I don't even know if it was more than about 30 minutes of hope.
I thought our boss actually said it really well. Holy cow, the Pacers just Baker Mayfield, Myles Turner.
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
It takes him a second to get on the stool because he's under 5 feet tall.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Well, this is a shout out to Dave Smiley. The house band for the Smiley Morning Show is Edwin McCain right here, everybody. There's not a song from the 1990s that would put me to sleep more than that. You want to take a big snooze when you listen to that. You do. Lounge YouTube Live. We've got a porn bot on the loose in there. Have you noticed that, Kyle? We've got to put a porn bot out of its misery. Naked HD. Fill life with emotions. Find love. Should not be in there lurking inside the lounge. Out of its misery we go. Race Trash, anything goes. 239-1070, line 2. You've been waiting the longest. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, John. This is Brian in Greenwood. How you doing, man?
Brian in Greenwood. Hello, B.
Hey, man. Hey, a couple things. One sports thing, one cultural thing down in Greenwood that isn't getting a lot of press.
Okay.
Friday night under the lights at Lucas Oil Raceway next weekend, as in next Friday. The Camping World Truck Series is back for the first time in 13 years.
Love it.
I'm not hearing anybody promote that, so
I better do it. I better do it. It's a good thing you're here to guide me through that. I'd be lost.
And then Saturday night, good friend of mine, client of mine, Mark Heinrich. He owns the Folktale and the Reverie down in Greenwood. They have a free concert featuring Straight Up Chumps. I'm sure it's like grunge-esque, but come and support local, man.
Yes, we got to go. You going to come and pick me up?
Absolutely.
All right, man. I appreciate you more than you know.
All right, man. See you.
That is Brian in Greenwood, better known as Be Near, the absolute greatest insurance agent of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance right there. Be Near, Greenwood. Ask for him by name. See, I can get rid of this email right here, too. A technology consulting firm reports that more than 250 million people watch esports. See? I got rid of that. Race Trash, anything goes. 239-1070, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is...
I'm sorry you cut out there. One more time. What's your name?
This is Eric.
Hello, Eric. Go ahead.
Hey, man. So a couple of things. The first thing, if I got time, that comment about the Steelers fan. You picked the Colts to win in Pittsburgh this year. I love the pick, but last year, no, it was a couple years ago, we couldn't even beat Mason Rudolph in Heinz Field. I was looking through the history of our success rate in Pittsburgh and realized we've only beat them one time ever in Pittsburgh. I was really, really shocked. It was Manning beat him one time, and outside of that, we have found ways to choke and lose games.
It has been an absolute suckfest, but this has got to be, and I say this because it's got to be. You're going to hear a lot of got to be out of me this year, and that's one of them. If you look at that schedule, that's one that you absolutely have to have, and it's not to me more absolute than the first 2 weeks of the season on the road within your own division, but it's got a level of absolute to it as well. There's no question. What else?
No question. So, okay, baseball time. Watching the home run derby got me thinking, in your opinion, who's the best, most feared hitter in the league the last couple of years? Who would you think?
Aaron Judge?
That's one of them. I think maybe between him, Rafael Devers, and, who's the other guy I was thinking of? Oh, my goodness. I knew this was going to happen to me. But, yeah, Aaron Judge has got to be up there. Devers and Yordan Alvarez, possibly. That's the other one.
Yeah, I think Aaron Judge is probably at the top of everybody's list, I would imagine. And really, I mean, you saw some guys last night in that home run hitting contest that probably strike a little bit of fear into folks, especially when you're talking about Soto, when you're talking about Alonso, and guys like that. You know, I mean, we don't bring up Altuve because, I mean, Altuve knows what's coming. So, yeah.
Yeah, Altuve is one of my favorite players, man. He's something else. But that Julio Rodriguez guy, that guy's got superstar phenom written all over him.
He does do
man,
that.
He's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to watch last night. Eric, anything else?
No, sir. Thanks for having me as always.
You got it. Call again soon. Line 2, Race Trash, anything goes. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, JMV, this is Stephon. Can I just say one thing, man?
Yeah.
For the love of God, can we please just wait to see what Myles is going to do with the team before we want to ship him all?
Oh, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I don't know if that's really what they want to do, but I'm just guessing because he's still a part of it right now. I'm just guessing that they haven't found what they're looking for. It sounds like you too. I haven't found what they're looking for as far as opportunities of getting the just type of return on Myles Turner. So I think that's part of the reason why, and I do think a little bit they're kind of curious what it might look like, but I think that happens. I do.
Man, my thing is this: if he blows up and tears up the world, I don't want to hear a word from no one.
Me either. Well, you're going to hear from me because I'm going to tell everybody all about it. So yes,
that's right, PJ.
Take it easy. I appreciate it. That has kind of been, and I sound like a real big jerk in saying it, but a lot of me wants him, upon being traded, to blow up and play really well so I can tell a lot of you out there to kiss my ass. I mean, seriously, there are a lot of you out there, and you know who you are. So I slightly hope that happens. No, see, that is just me in a nutshell. That is the grudge carrying manual that I have right here. Oh, you remember what I said to you 4 years ago? Yeah, probably I do. I do. There is no doubt that I do. How many people locally do I carry a grudge on right now? You don't have to name names.
I can think of a couple.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I said that 9 years ago. Exactly. I said that 9 years ago, and it was in past. Yeah, exactly. I remember it. I know. It's motivation. It's a chip on my shoulder. Gets me at my best each and every day. Race Trash, anything goes. It is line 1. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, John. How are you?
Great. D, what's happening? How's the beat ball experience going, brother?
John, I want to give a shout-out, a couple shout-outs, and it's going good, but I'm going to give a couple shout-outs to the Pawn Shop Pub in Broad Ripple. We had a fundraiser last weekend, and that's one of the tavern tours. I tweeted at you a while ago, maybe you know, that you and Britt should go ahead and do that. It should be on your tavern tour.
I do remember that.
The best tenderloin in the city. So ask for Rob or Barb or Brian. Great people off of 54th and Keystone. But we held a fundraiser there this past weekend for our team, and we're headed to the World Series here in about a couple of days. Some of us are already headed out there as of now, and so we're trying to win our 6th world title in a row. It's going to be tough, but we recruited 2 kids the last 3 or 4 weeks that may help us. But we're the 3rd seed, so I'll update everyone. But yeah, we're going for our 6th world title here in about a week. So
go get him, my good friend. Go get him.
But the Pawn Shop Pub, John, has Brett Holberson over off of 54th and Keystone to get a hold of Rob, Brian, or Rob, Brian, or Barb, the best tenderloin in the city.
Gotcha, buddy. Appreciate you, D.
Thanks, John.
Good luck to you. Where are we going this month? I can't remember. Why don't I remember? Where's Michelle? Is Michelle still?
Well, you don't remember much.
Short term. Long term is awesome. Short term, my short term can be a bit clunky. Anybody out there remember where we're going for the tavern tour? Why did I just brain fade that? I can't remember where we're going. Brent Halverson, text me right now and tell me where we're going. I got to give it the proper love it deserves. Line 2 before the break. It's Race Trash. Anything goes. Racetrash.com. Who's this?
Christian.
Hello, Christian.
Hey, I can understand if you don't want to talk about it, but it is anything goes. Did you see Greg Doyle's article yesterday about the guy who was on at noon.
I did see that, yes. I didn't read it in its entirety, but obviously now with people tweeting at me and emailing me, I know enough to know. So.
Yeah, the only thing I was really interested in is he said in the article he referenced a couple bad jokes you guys had at the late night thing you guys did.
Yeah, I'll let him tell you guys that. Here's part of the thing. Here's part of the thing. I try really hard not to give a crap. Seriously, you know what I mean?
Right.
I try really hard not to give a crap about it. I don't mind you asking, but I try really hard not to give a crap. Ultimately, what it does is the crap does flow downhill from this stupidity, and then it ends up falling on me or Jake or Kevin has to hear about it or has to read about it or somebody talks about it in the lounge. And I think that's just a whole big mountain of crap. So I get what you're saying, but you can ask somebody else. Don't ask me. So
Gotcha.
I was down in the green room anyway. It's not like I saw it. So
Oh yeah, I hear you. Thanks.
I get where you're coming from. Anybody else? I'm so just over it. I'm over it. And it always comes back, and it always asks me, and I don't care. I do not care. I don't care what Greg, I don't care what Dan are fighting about. I don't care what somebody's writing about, what somebody's saying. It just is tired. It is tired. I don't know how anybody functions like that. I don't. Like here, there's no way. That just wears me out. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know how many emails. You guys are asking me how many emails I got. Yeah, I got some. But nah, seriously, that's one. You asked the noon guy that, not me. I get it. I'll try to explain it as best I can because it's race trash, anything goes, but then they can answer that. What is it? Does crap really flow downhill?
That's a thing called gravity, yeah.
Is it? Yeah. But nah, you had every right to ask it. There's no doubt. Every right to ask it. That's why it's race trash, anything goes. But that is one you can ask somebody else, and then everybody else can start whining and crying about it. Just leave me out of it. Quick break, we'll come back. Somebody's going to win something. Other side next.
Listen to Kevin and Query this week for your chance to win tickets from Kevin and Jake to see the Zach Brown Band at Ruoff Music Center on Thursday, July 28th.
Big Red Liquors Big Gas Giveaway. This month, Big Red Liquors is giving away 4 $500 gas cards. Yes, you could win a $500 gas card. Stop in at any Big Red Liquors to enter. It's free. Must be 21 to enter. No purchase necessary.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The amount of money our clients receive with a simple cash-out refinance is life-changing. Imagine paying off all your credit cards, completing home improvement projects, and taking the family on a much-needed vacation while still having money in the bank. And with our 10-day closing guarantee, that could all be a reality quicker than you think. Your home is probably worth more than ever before. Learn more and get pre-approved at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's John here for Love Heating and Air. Seriously, we are going to get in the mid to upper 90s coming up later on this week. You've got to make sure that your cooling system's doing what it should. Because if you're not, you're going to be left, how do they say, high and dry? But it's going to be high and sweaty. You don't want to be high and sweaty. No, not high. You know what I mean, right? I mean, you're just going to be left sweaty, right? You don't want to be sweaty, and you don't want to be paying money to sit around your house being sweaty. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a hold of my friends, John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air, and have your system get the once over, because it probably does need it. It has been a lot, seriously, and you got to make sure everything's taken care of. 317-754-0754 today. 317-754-0754 to get your cooling system checked up from the absolute best at Love Heating and Air online. That's love-hvac.com today.
Whether you are a high handicapper or regularly break par, having properly fit golf clubs is vital. For a premium custom fitting that will lower your scores, see the experts at Golf Performance Academy, located at Golf Club of Indiana. They offer many top brands, including Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Payne, Cobra, and Mizuno. And they are the home for Titleist Thursdays and the new hub for PXG fittings in the Indy area. For more information, go to golfindiana.com or call 317-769-6388.
A CarX is the place to be. Oh, shout out to Joe Childers. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. I promise there is one near you. Got to make sure a lot of you are going to hit the highway, right? For that final vacation before school officially starts back up. Make sure you remain summer road ready. $19.99, the AC inspection. You're looking at great deals right now on brakes, brake pads, and tires, and more. Everything for your car, truck, or van at one place. And in fact, that one place has 14 Central Indiana locations. Tell Joe Childers I sent you to CarX today for that location nearest you. It's CarX.com.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain for only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar times are 8 to 10 p.m. on Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers, and 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Registration 30 minutes before seminar.
The NTT IndyCar Series is at Iowa Speedway for a doubleheader. Race 1, Saturday at 3:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, not really. I felt it on my leg. Come on, I don't want to see it.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Rakestraw, Ben Brown, and Race Trash. Race Trash, anything goes. You guys ask and I do answer, although I will defer a lot of that stuff because that other stuff's not my problem. So I appreciate you asking, though. That's about as a straight answer as I can give you. All right, One Republic, a week from Saturday at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Number 9 is going to go on shout out. And I'm telling you, the absolute best. Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, of the shows have been outstanding up there. And Kyle Johnston and the gang of Live Nation, thank you very much. By the way, Nick Cottenham, did I pronounce his last name accurate? I always think they call him Nick Cottenham.
Cotton Jim.
Cotton Jim?
Cotton Gim.
Cotton Gim. There's no way I can pronounce that.
People just call him Cotton.
Cotton Gim. He's downstairs, does a great job in digital. And I just so apologize I forgot about this. We're at Manley's Irish Mutt, 10th and Shadeland. How did I forget that? Mike Manley, my apologies. Manley's Irish Mutt is our final in July, I should say the month of July rep for a tavern tour stop. I love Manley's Irish Mutt. We're there a couple of times a year. Thank you, Nick, for that, however you accurately pronounce your last name. There's no way I'm not going to butcher a name that's spelled like that. There's no way. Stansbury says, JMV, don't die at Long John Silver's tonight. Hey, JMV, I think your Twitter account is going to be really fun tonight. Yeah, it's always really fun. I just stay off. I go, whatever. Here we go again. Like every month. But yeah, I'll just stay off of it. It's funny, though. I don't do any blocking. I mean, you have to be a tremendous butthole for me to block you. You have to be like the king of all buttholes for me to block you. Normally, and not even mute. I'm pretty fair with that. But ignore, I've been lucky with this in life. I have an incredible filter. So I have a high level. How should I pronounce this? Ignorator? I can ignore like nobody's business. I'm strong. Elite level ignoring. Rakestraw, Ben Brown, Race Trash, Anything Goes. You're going to put Race Trash, Anything Goes up on the podcast too? That'll be great. Do that. One Republic tickets. Who won?
Winner was Jeremy Dunn.
Jeremy Dunn. I know Jeremy Dunn. You know what's funny? I know so many of you out there. Jeremy Dunn, once upon a time, went on an Alaskan getaway cruise with us. He saw me drunk a couple of times.
Can we do another Alaskan getaway cruise, please? I'd like to go on that.
Ate a lot of fish on that. Greg, you're absolutely right. Back with you tomorrow at 3. Have a great evening and afternoon tomorrow. I'll catch you then.